All right, here we go. BG Knocc Out. Welcome back to VladTV.
What's up, Vlad? What it do?
It's been a little minute.
Yes,
you
sir.
know, we hung out in Vegas, went to the Cameron show.
Yes,
So
sir.
it's like we haven't seen each other, but you haven't been on in a minute.
Yeah, for sure.
A lot has happened since last time.
Yeah.
I think, in VladTV world, I think the biggest news, though, was I actually did an interview with Willie D, and I apologized for the Farrakhan misquote.
Oh, awesome.
You heard about this?
Yeah, I heard about it, but I didn't see it, but I heard about it, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I've been wanting to do it for a while, because at the time that I did it, my head really wasn't in the right space and so forth, and a whole bunch of stuff was happening, and I was being kind of torn between different people's opinions and so forth, so I decided not to do anything. But
Right.
at one point, I'm like, listen, I need to go ahead and really apologize and take responsibility for it. And me and Willie D have been rocking together for a long time, and he's a big Farrakhan supporter.
Yeah, for sure.
I wanted to go with someone who was not just going to be like softball.
Yeah.
He had been on stage with Farrakhan. He had conversations with him. He admires him. So I knew that he was going to press down on me.
Right.
So that's why I did it with him. And the reaction was actually pretty good.
I'm glad you did it, though, man. That was big of you. You know what I mean?
Thank you.
That
You're
was
a
big
Muslim
of-
yourself.
Absolutely, but I'm Orthodox. I'm
Right.
not under the same creed as them.
Right.
But, I'm just saying, just for the sake of, who you are and, your brand and things like that. You know what I mean? And the fact that you was just big enough to do that, like, I commend you for that, bro. That was dope.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. And I also want to do it at a time where it was clear that I wasn't being pressed.
Yeah.
That I wasn't doing it to try to turn the business around.
Right.
Business is fine. It's been fine for the last 5 years.
Right.
Nobody got, made me do it. No one forced me to do it. I didn't feel a threat of any sort. It was like, I want to do it, and I want to do it on my own terms.
Yeah.
And this is the way I did it. And yeah, it was dope. And what's interesting is Lord Jamar actually came back to VladTV.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
How did you get that to happen?
Well, he reached out to me.
Really?
Yeah. He reached out to me. He sent me a text, and we started talking. And at first, it was just like a talk about just our relationship, because we really were friends before.
Yeah,
all this
I
happened.
seen that. Yeah.
Yeah. And, we had like a long talk, and it was like a really positive talk. I mean, I didn't know where it was going to go. I was expected for the bullshit or for a positive conversation, but him and I both took it positive. And then we talked about, possibly having him come back.
Okay.
I ran it by him. He thought it was a good idea. He came back, and then everyone's in an uproar right now.
Yeah. That's dope, though, man. I mean,
I think it's dope.
I don't understand, like, what the whole issue was to begin with. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, to me, a lot of people blame you for what people get on this, sit in this seat, and what comes out of their mouths. Mm-hmm. You understand what I'm saying? If you ask somebody a question and they volunteer something to you, and then something happened as a result of that, how is that your fault? You understand what I'm saying? Like, if it's something you don't want to touch on, just simply don't talk about it. Just be like, I can't speak on that.
Right.
I don't see the hard thing about that.
Well, I think I was the first one to really do it.
Yeah.
I was the first wave of YouTubers back in 2008. And what I was doing, hip-hop media was not doing.
Yeah.
Everything was radio interviews, softball questions about the album. That's it.
Yeah.
And what I was trying to do was different. It was more like a 60 minutes, real, like, in-depth,
right.
barbershop kind of conversation.
Right.
And people weren't ready for that. So that's why people started calling me the feds and the police and all that. But when you look around, most interviewers that you know of ask similar types of questions.
Absolutely.
So, I don't mind, man. I don't mind. But it was nice to put it out there, and it was nice for Jamar to come back, because he was my first original repeat guest.
Yeah, I remember.
And everyone's mad at him, it seems. But, he's rocking with his decisions. So,
yeah.
At the end of the day, it's all good. It's all good. And I appreciate you. You were rocking with me the whole time.
Oh,
also,
for sure, yeah.
When we were going through it. And, you are, Muslim, like a traditional Orthodox Muslim, but you still have things in common with the Nation of Islam and so forth. So
yeah. I mean, the one thing we have in common, we're black. You know what I'm saying? Those are my people. Farrakhan is one of the leaders of the black community. Mm-hmm. And for the things that he's done, throughout his life, I respect. You know what I'm saying? So I would never publicly, like, say nothing about him. Wrong or anything like that. So I understand, like, the sentiment when it comes to his name being spoken in a certain type of way. Like, I get it,
Yeah. And I said in the Willie D interview that, like, look, at the end of the day, he's accomplished great things. Like, who really could pull off a 1 million man march?
Absolutely.
I don't know too many other leaders of any race that could pull that off.
Right.
They
And
did it
just organizing black people in a positive way, bro. Like in this type of climate that we live in.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They not on the street committing crimes and in and out of jail. You know what I'm saying? They have businesses and things like that. That's very commendable.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I agree.
Yeah.
I mean, I was interviewing NOI members before all this happened.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, man, you know, I apologize. I didn't make an excuse for it. I said I made a mistake. And at the end of the day, it's been a really cool thing because now I could talk about it publicly. And people like Killer Mike called me and was like, yo, man, thank you so much for doing it. You know, I never said this to you, but I've always kind of had a problem with your stance on this. And doing this means a lot to our friendship.
Absolutely,
you know,
absolutely,
so forth.
absolutely.
So, man, it was cool.
That's dope, man. So on behalf of the black folks, I want to say thank you for that.
Thank you, man. Thank
Yeah,
you for telling
for
me
sure.
that. Well, have you seen Suge Knight recently?
I've been hearing little things about Suge. I ain't seen him. Damn, is that him?
Yeah.
Whoa, he's lost all that weight?
He lost a lot of weight.
Wow. Is he working out or is he stressing?
I don't know. You know, Whack 100 said that he's sick.
Oh, yeah?
Could be.
He could be.
Because he's always been big.
Always been big.
Like, even in prison.
Exactly.
So, I don't know.
Damn. That's crazy. That's a lot of fucking weight.
Yeah, but he's still going hard. You know, on those jail phones.
I've been hearing a lot of shit, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he basically started accusing various people of engaging in homosexual activities.
Yeah,
and
the
then
shit with Ray
J responded and said that Suge Knight sexually assaulted men and women, and Suge said that Ray J and Diddy were lovers, and blah, 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 blah,
I just think it's crazy, bro, for people to be this grown, like having these type of conversations and this little bickering like females. To me, like it's corny, bro. It's corny. Suge, okay, you in jail, you got a lot of time, bro. I understand. Maybe you trying to make some headway, you trying to get some internet love, you know what I'm saying? Because it seems to me that people think that gossip is the way to go on the internet now. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, it is.
It is?
Well, I mean, if you want to get views, yeah. You know, I mean, if you want
well, maybe I can't blame them, but I just don't agree, bro. Like, I think it's more positive shit to engage in. Like, I don't know. I just don't get it. I don't like grown men bickering. Like, that shit weird to me.
Well, I mean, I don't really have a problem with people talking about actual real things.
Yeah,
but when you start,
making up
you know, like, you know, when you start saying like, okay, did DJ Vlad was at every Diddy freak off, and,
right.
You know, brought all the baby oil.
Right.
You know, I mean, it's like okay, you know, Jaguar Wright made up a whole bunch of things about me.
Yeah,
you know,
she does that,
and I was somehow working with Diddy or something. I'm like, okay, okay, that's cool. But I mean, Suge seems like he's going extra strong with this shit now.
Yeah, I've been seeing stuff. I seen him say something about the old boy who played Kane in Menace to Society too.
Oh yeah,
said something about him and Jamie Foxx was lovers or some shit.
I've been hearing that for a while. I don't think it's true.
Yeah,
I don't think it's true. And it's what's so funny is that what people really want to hear out of Suge, he's not saying.
Like, what do you think? What, the Tupac shit?
Yeah, like what happened the night of the Tupac murder?
Yeah, the Biggie shit.
The Biggie
did y'all really? Yeah, all
was
that
there any
shit.
sort of involvement?
Yeah, he ain't.
But then again, he's not gonna say that.
Of course, he's not.
That would put him. You know, if he said he was involved in the Biggie murder, that would put him back in prison forever.
Absolutely.
But the Tupac shit, he could just say. I mean, I'm wondering if Keefe D gets convicted, if Suge will finally just up and say it.
I kind of believe Suge's story about that though, about what happened. I kind of believe him.
Which is what?
I mean, like what he said, he was in the car, you know what I'm saying? And when he didn't really know that the shit was going down. You know what I mean? I believe his side of the story.
So he had no idea who did it.
I ain't gonna say he didn't know who did it. He ain't supposed to say who did it if he even seen it. You know what I mean? But I'm just saying, I don't think he was involved. Let's put it that way. I don't think like he, you know, because a lot of people think he had Tupac.
No, he had absolutely nothing to do with it. He was a victim.
Exactly.
He got shot in the head.
That's
he got grazed in his head. He was bleeding.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, I believe.
No, that. So you don't think? Let's just say Keefe D gets life in prison.
Mm-hmm.
No chance of him getting out. Mm-hmm. Let's just say Keefe D dies.
Yeah.
right? I'm not saying he should, but let's just say, Keefe D is older, he's sick, I think he still has cancer. Keefe D passed away. That means that every single person in that car is dead. Do you think that Suge will ultimately say, okay, car pulled up, this is what happened?
I don't think he would.
Really?
I don't think he should.
Huh.
Yeah, I don't think it's wise. I don't think it's wise to even, I think we should leave that where it is. You know what I mean? Because Keefe D did enough. Like, you know what I mean? If he's saying that he was there, you know what I mean? And all the things that he said that transpired, like, I think that should be the story. You know what I mean? And it should stay there. Anybody else coming out saying anything right now is just kind of crazy. This many years later, it's like, why would you put yourself in the mix of that?
Well, I mean, Keefe D put himself in the mix of it.
He did, but that's his dumbass fault. You know what I mean? Like, that was stupid on his part.
Well, yeah, I guess they tried to get bail once again, and once again, the judge denied him bail.
Yeah. I know he's regretting the hell out of that, so.
I mean, what do you think will happen in this case? Do you think he's going to plead out, or do you think he's going to go to trial? And
I mean, if he go to trial, I don't think it's going to be wise. I think his best bet is to plead out if they do offer him a plea of some sort, because I'm looking at the time. You know how many years it's been? It's at least 30 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so
29 years. Yeah,
29. Yeah, so it's like,
no, wait, 1996. So yeah, 29 years.
Yeah, so I think that probably would be his best deal, because after all, he did say what he said. He can't take it back. It's on tape. You know what I mean? So his best deal would be to plea out, just so he can have some type of hope of coming home again.
Well, he's 62 years old.
That's my point.
So what kind of plea deal can you get that doesn't turn into life?
Well, in Vegas, they have the Vegas laws kind of like New York. They give you like 5 to 20. They got these type of laws. And usually, for a lot of people that I've seen, they can get like, I don't know how to call it, because it's a statute state. So it's like I said, it's like New York. It's like this. It's not like California, and I'm only used to the laws here. But what I'm saying is, he can still probably come home even with a lot of time, faster than what I'm saying, than normal. Yeah, because it happens to a lot of people in Vegas.
Okay, so if he takes like a 5 to 10, he might come home and
he go to board in 5, and then you know what I'm saying, if he's found suitable, then he'll be home in 5.
Home in 5.
Yep.
He'll be 67, 68 years old. Yeah, got some years left.
And I think just the stress alone that he's experienced is probably, it's half of enough. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Especially if he's kind of sick too, if he's dealing with some type of health issue. It's like, come on, bro. Like, I'm sure that's taking its toll on him as well.
Well, yeah, like, how is the medical facilities in jails?
Not good.
Nah.
Hell no.
Okay.
Hell no.
So you're not getting real medical care?
Nah, you have to, like, they have their own facilities inside. Unless it's something like deadly, then they'll transport you to an outside hospital. But I'm sure they ain't gonna give you the attention that they would give, somebody in society. Yeah. So it's not a good place to be under those circumstances, for sure.
It's interesting. You go through life and you say, after hearing this, I'm never going to prison. Right. And then you keep hearing more stuff that, okay, after hearing this, I'm never going to prison. I heard what I feel was the ultimate reason not to go to prison.
What's that?
So I had Terrence Gangster Williams here recently with his man, Little Diesel.
Okay, the two guys that he wasn't getting along with at
right.
first. Yeah,
and I put them in the same room.
I seen that.
Now they're actually roommates.
Really?
They live together.
Whoa.
With Terrence's mom.
What?
Yes. Diesel moved from New Orleans to, I believe, Dallas.
Okay.
And moved in with Terrence because he was having a hard time getting by.
Okay.
So now they live together, and Terrence helps, gives them room and board, got him a car.
Okay.
Terrence's mom cooks for them.
That's
I was joking
deep.
about, you might get married to Terrence's mom, and that's gonna be a stepdaddy. Like, what I mean?
Oh, they just clown.
Yeah, I was clowning. Right?
Okay.
Nah, but people like to get on VladTV. You caused beef. Like, these guys were real, like, arch enemies.
Absolutely.
They literally were shooting and stabbing each other. Right. The last time they saw each other before I put them in the same room, they had knives pulled out.
Damn.
In prison, and now they're roommates and best friends. But Diesel told me something that I'm never gonna fucking forget. He was in Attica.
Okay.
Right? He said there was a dude in their prison whose punk was his own son.
What? Whoa, I ain't.
And the excuse was that this guy gave was that he didn't know his son growing up. He had never been around him, and if someone's going to do it, it might as well be him.
Tell him about the dad and the son. Yeah, a guy, he got his son is his sister. It's a guy doing life in prison.
Wait.
Vlad used to believe it as a first telling this stuff.
Wait. Don't tell me I heard what I just heard.
Yeah.
There is a man in prison,
yes,
and his son
it's for him.
Is his punk.
Yes.
So he has sex with his own son.
You see, before he let anybody else do it, he might as well have him.
He said, before anyone else can have him, I'm going.
Oh, yeah, he going to be for me. Yes, that's true.
I really want to throw up right now.
That's true. But you got a cup right there, do that with.
That's the ultimate. Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy.
Don't do crime, kids.
That's crazy. Please don't
locked
do crime.
Up with this guy.
Please don't do. Bro, crime ain't worth it. I'm gonna just
crime
let you know. It's
it.
definitely not. You better off working at McDonald's, bro. Cleaning up a park. I mean, come on, man. That's crazy. That's some insane shit, bro.
Can you just
his
imagine?
own punk was his son.
Yeah, his own son.
That's some sick ass shit, bro.
Me and Adam 22 was on here. He's like, well, but if you never met him, it's kind of like a stranger. I'm like, that's biologically your kid. Like,
yeah,
no,
bro.
like, you're not gonna talk your way out of this.
Just that alone is like, come on.
Like, well, I mean, you can't get her pregnant. Like, if it was a daughter, I'm like, yo, that's still half you.
Nigga trying to make excuses for that.
Yeah,
like no.
Yeah, I was like, nah, there's no excuses for this.
Yeah, that's way.
We both have sons. I can't even.
Bro, that's some
I can't even get my head around that.
Wicked shit, bro. That's wicked. That's satanic as hell. Like, come on, man. Yeah,
well, you know what they said? I never really thought about this before, because they're talking about we're talking about the booty warrior dude, Fleece Johnson. Who I didn't want to interview.
Yeah.
He ended up, Terrence ended up interviewing him.
Yeah.
And I'm like, is there a lot of Terrences? Sorry, not Terrence. Is there a lot of Fleece Johnsons, a lot of booty warriors in prison? He's like, oh, hundreds.
Yeah, it's a lot.
And what they said that I never thought about was, there's a lot of dudes in prison that had never been with a woman.
But so fucking what? That don't mean you don't want to. That don't mean you don't desire to.
I'm not saying that.
And a man is not a woman.
But
no, you can't.
I mean, I got you.
Yeah.
But just think about, okay, you get locked up when you're like 17, right? You haven't had sex with a woman yet. You're just around men.
Yeah.
You get life in prison at like 17, 18.
Bro,
you haven't had sex with a girl. You're not around any girls. You're just around boys.
I can't comprehend it, Vlad. So it's probably
hard to comprehend.
It's probably
too.
above
I'm not
my pay
justifying
grade.
it.
I can't comprehend it, bro. I just can't comprehend it. I really can't. Cause that's like saying, what was Freud? The
Sigmund Freud?
Yeah, Sigmund Freud, right? In his book, he was talking about like if you had a kid and you never spoke to the kid, or if he never seen you walk, then he'll be a mute. You know what I'm saying? It'd be like if a kid never hears somebody speak, then he will never learn how to speak. If he never see a person walk upright, he probably would never walk upright, right?
Huh. Okay.
So maybe that's probably something, you know what I'm saying? Like they never seen a woman, like they ain't never smelled, but they came from society. Like, come on. So you have to be around females at some point in your life. You wasn't born in jail. You wasn't born in jail and raised with men. Think about that though. So come on, bro.
Be born in a cell.
Yeah, so I don't know. I just think, I don't know, bro. I think it's weak-minded. It got to be something like that. It could be mental illness. Who fucking knows? I don't know, but I just can't fathom it. I can't. That's above my pay grade. That's crazy.
I mean, nobody had to tell me that I should like girls. Like, I just like girls.
Yeah, it's instinctual.
Since I was a little kid, right? But I just can't imagine being in a society where there are no girls. That the only girls are like the prison guards who you
not allowed to touch. That's why I don't like prison. That's one thing about prison that I dislike so much. Like the fact that you have to be told, you have to be controlled like a fucking animal. You know what I'm saying? Been told when to go, where to come to. You have to work. You can't be like, oh, I'm sick, I don't feel. They don't give a fuck about none of that. You know what I mean? So it's just too much control for one. No women around, no children. And then just society, you know what I'm saying? You don't have freedom of choice. Like, who the fuck want to be in a place like that? In their right mind? Like, no.
Like, I've debated a few of my guests on this. Do you think that men who constantly go back to prison are just secretly gay?
No, I think they're institutionalized. You know, so like in jail, you have a program. You know what I'm saying? Whether the program, it's not the type of program you have in the world. You know, you wake up, you go to your office, you do the things that you have to do to sustain your life. In jail, it's like the same thing, but it's a microcosm of that. You know what I'm saying? You have something to look forward to. You got to wake up, you got to go to work. You know what I'm saying? You got to interact with people. You see counselors and different things like that. So it's like it gives them a life. Some people don't know how to function on the street after being in jail for so long. They get out here and they can't get the type of job and make the type of money they want. I think it's easier for them to live in there because it's just easier. You know what I'm saying? They don't have to worry about paying their own bills. All they have to worry about is canteen. You understand what I'm saying? Which is, you only can spend, what, $130, maybe $180 now? You know what I mean? So it's like, I just think their life is more controlled and they're able to function in that environment. Coming out here is too much going on. You know what I mean? And if you're in there for a significant amount of time, so look, when I was in prison, I think around my 7th year, SSI came, Social Security came in there, and they said that if you've been in here over 5 years, you automatically qualify for SSI. So they know it's a mind fuck, you know what I'm saying, once you're in there for so long. So you become institutionalized, bro. It's really, really what it is. You know what I'm saying? And it's probably hard for you to fathom because you've never been there. But I'm telling you, from a person like Vlad, when they let me out the door, bro, it was like 3 people that got out with me, right? So the other people, they family was right there in front of the jail when they let us out the very front door. They got in the cars and drove off. I was standing alone because my people was like 5 minutes late. I looked back at the jail, bro. Like, I wanted to kind of low-key in my mind go back inside. Like, I felt like I was being put out of my house or something.
Wow.
That's what I'm telling you. You know what I mean? So imagine somebody that did 20 years, 30 years, 40 years.
No, I'm not talking about people who did that. I'm talking about...
That's recidivism.
You do 2 years, you come out, 6 months later, you're back again.
You ain't learned enough. You haven't learned.
You're on the street 9 months, you get caught with a gun, go back and do another year and a half.
Yeah,
like,
you haven't really learned. You have
back.
to do 5 years or more for you to really understand, for it to settle in, I believe.
Okay. I mean, look, I remember I did I interviewed 1090 Jake. And he feels, and he did some jail time, he said a lot of the people in there are like, you know, have mental, like, you know, mentally disabled.
Absolutely.
You know, I mean, like special ed, short bus.
That too. It's a lot of that.
You know, like I remember like Lil Woody,
the
YSL case, he said that he got into a really bad accident when he was a kid, hit his head, went into a coma, woke up like 6 months later, had to learn how to walk and talk, was put in special ed classes. Then dropped out of school, and then, you know,
you got to think about something. You got to think about
liquor,
you got to think about the families that these people come from. That drugs in their home, sexually abused in their home while they was children. You know what I'm saying? Poverty, right? So it's like they never got no type of counseling for this shit, Vlad. And then they come out to these violent societies and dealing with all this crazy shit, get hooked on drugs, get caught up in gangs. They really don't have no other way to express themselves. You know what I'm saying? And then they get put in that environment. It's damn near the same environment that they come from, just a little bit more control. That's it. You know what I mean? So it's a lot of mental illness, bro. It's a lot of trauma. People are trauma bonding too as well. You know what I mean? So it's a lot of that. You know, it's hard for people to understand, but I'm telling you from a person who experienced these things firsthand, like it's a lot of that. It's a lot of like really, people are really devastated mentally, you know what I'm saying? And that's really what it is, bro. Because who in their right mind want to keep going in and out of that place like that? When you can potentially die. I don't give a fuck because you got 6 months. That don't mean you're going to make it home. If somebody come and attack you on the yard, 6 people with knives and stab you to death, you understand what I'm saying? Like, why would you keep putting yourself in your right mind? Think about that. That can't be, that's not no sane shit.
Well, this brings me to my next question. Tory Lanez, since last time, got stabbed 14 times.
I know, which is horrible.
Both lungs collapsed.
So funny.
He had to be airlifted to a hospital, I think like 40 miles away.
Medevac, yeah, that's what happened.
Because, the injuries were so grave that he would have died in the prison hospital. He got stabbed by a Mexican dude.
Yeah.
Were you surprised when you heard that? I
was surprised, yeah, I was. But not too surprised because I know it happens all the time. Like, that shit happens in jail every day. You know what I'm saying? But I was, I heard different things. Some people were saying that he was flirting with the dude's wife. And then some people said that she was flirting with him, and he tried to tell her, you know what I'm saying? But you probably should have never spoke on it, to be honest.
I mean, according to Whack, he broke down the story. He basically said that Tory would get on the phone after this guy, and the girl would still be on, and he claims that she was flirting with him. Right? So he decided to tell the guy. And I think him not being in prison,
he probably didn't know.
He didn't understand. He didn't work out this whole scenario in his head. Like, okay, if I tell him, what's going to be the next 2-3 steps that happens afterwards?
Well, that was his bad, because that was either his bad or the people he was around, because people should have told him that's not something you want to bring to anybody's attention.
Right.
Like, you're not supposed to, you know, because just that shit'll go inside. You would tell somebody some shit like that, they'll go in their cell, that shit'll be in their mind, they'll play it over and over, then it's going to sink down into their heart. Now he feel like he got to do something about it. You understand what I'm saying? So it was just a bad move, bro.
Yeah, well, because the guy was doing life in prison. And, I mean, this guy, I think, like, had, like, I think it was, like, 25 and had, like, a 15-year-old girlfriend. He ended up killing her. So he was, like, a molester who killed an underage girl. So he was doing life in prison. And I guess somehow he found a girlfriend on the outside.
Yeah.
Which is not easy to get.
I mean, it's not surprising.
It's not surprising?
No.
So dudes that are doing life have girlfriends on the outside.
Yeah, bro. Some women, like, there's some women that's in society, and I don't want to say it in the wrong way, but maybe they're not probably living the life that they want, so they'll bond with a guy in there, and it gives them something to do.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? It, like, gives them something to wake up and look forward to, and they'll actually bond with an inmate. You know what I'm saying? Then a lot of lifers, they lie about they don't tell them that I'm here for the rest of my life.
Oh, I'm getting out soon.
Oh, yeah, like I'm getting out soon, or I have this date this far away, and give them hope, you know what I'm saying, to string them along and shit like that. So, yeah, it's a lot of that type of shit as well.
I mean, yeah, listen, if you're doing life in prison,
you don't have nothing to lose.
You got all the time to be attentive and caring. How's your day?
Exactly.
Oh, so what's going on with you and Judy? Did you guys ever work it out?
See what I'm saying?
Really? She never returned that
women
mitten,
want that type of attention.
You let her?
Exactly.
Man, Judy ain't shit.
Yeah.
You know? I'm going to write a letter to Judy, and you go send it to her.
That's what I'm saying.
So write a 10-page letter to Judy. You got nothing else to do. Why not?
You got nothing else to do, bro.
Nothing else. I spend my day writing the Judy letter.
There it is there. So now you understand a little more.
Okay, I get it.
Yeah.
But I can imagine how catastrophic it would be to find out that you might be losing this girlfriend to potentially to one of the big high-profile inmate that you're locked up with.
Absolutely.
And, you know, I remember when I was first saying, I was like, well, I was kind of criticizing Tory, and I'm like, yeah, you know, I don't know why Tory is in general population, because that's crazy considering, you know, his stature, you know, how visible he is. But then Wack pointed out that he's not in general population. He's in some level of PC, because this is why child molester,
like sensitive needs.
Yeah, so this is why he's
But it's killers on them yards too.
Well, right. Well,
everybody
I mean,
that's on them yards ain't there voluntarily,
right.
Bro. They get ran to them yards because they send so many people to fuck them up that once that happens, they automatically have to go there. That don't mean they scary or they punks and nothing like that. So they killers as well. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, this guy's a child molester.
Yeah.
And he's also a killer. He killed a woman, but I believe he like stabbed her to death or something like that. So, you know, he's used to this type of activity.
Exactly.
Stabbed her 14 times. And I guess what happened was he confronted the girl and she said, oh no, Tory was flirting with me. I never flirted with him.
See, and that's probably what it was too. You know what I'm saying? If he believed that, yeah.
Who is he gonna believe?
He was gonna believe
girlfriend
her.
Or this guy
the one who's getting canteen from probably every fucking month. You know what I mean? Yeah. Getting letters and visits, maybe. Yeah, of course he gonna believe her. Yeah.
Yeah. I guess there was like a fake interview with the guy. You know, there's an interview and they're like, oh look, he's speaking about it, and Wack was like, he is in solitary.
Yeah.
Like, you do not stab up Tory Lanez 14 times, then go back and do interviews in your cell.
Yeah, I mean, you can still get phones though, because before he go to the shoe, he got to go to the regular hole first, because he got to get found guilty. It's a process. You know what I mean? And they got phones in the hole in jail as well.
Yeah. You know, and I feel like you saw right afterwards, you saw like Tory release all this stuff, like claiming his innocence and like this footage and that footage. And from what I understand, all that stuff was in the trial anyways.
It was?
Yeah, there was nothing new.
I heard it got suppressed though.
No,
it all
Megan's
came out in the
said
trial.
all this was
the
in the
video,
trial.
the little ring camera
all
shit,
of it
everything
was in the trial, presented to the jury.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
The jury saw everything, but I think with him it was like, I need to get the hell up out of here.
Yeah.
Like this is
of
not
course.
what I
I mean,
expected.
after an experience like that, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
But just imagine if he's really innocent and all these things happen to him, bro. Like that's some hell of a fate to live with.
I'm sorry, man. You mean to tell me that a girl who I just met shot one of the most famous females in America?
Yeah,
I am going to take
Vlad,
the charge
you
for
be
her.
looking at shit like from a logical standpoint, but crazy shit don't got nothing to do with logic, bro. You just got to think about that. Some shit don't have no rhyme or reason for it. You got to know that.
Look, if my side chick ended up shooting Megan Thee Stallion, I'm gonna be like, look, you either got to say you did it, or else I'm gonna say you did it. But I'm not gonna go to prison over this. Like, this is ridiculous.
But you got a dude who's trying to keep up an image. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I understand what you're saying, but at the same
even
time,
the story doesn't even make sense. It was like he wrestled the gun. You know, first it was like, oh, she shot the gun and he hit her in the forearm. The gun fell and went off 2 more times. Really?
It can happen.
Gun fell and 2 shots went off from it falling.
It depends on how far it fell from. Depends on what was around. I don't know. You know, man,
it did not fall from the Empire State Building. Okay.
See, that y'all white. See, y'all don't understand. Y'all probably ain't been around a lot of guns and violence in y'all life.
You've seen a gun fall and go off 2 times.
I'm telling you it's possible to happen. That's all I'm saying.
All right.
I'm just saying.
All right. Well, then it was like, okay, part of the whole thing was like, okay, the other girl shot her. And then it was like, oh, look, here's a picture of Megan's feet. She didn't even get shot. So did the other girl shoot her, or did she not get shot? Which one is it? You can't have both.
That's confusing. I don't know.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah,
you got to pick a side.
I know.
Either she wasn't shot or you didn't shoot her.
But was she shot though?
Yes.
What do you know? She was
had
actually
bullet
shot.
fragments in her feet.
Really?
What I think happened.
It wasn't glass.
No, I don't think it was glass. No, because the actual doctor came on the stand and said there was metal fragments in her feet.
So the video we seen when she said, I ain't shot in the foot, that wasn't her?
She was saying she was trying to protect everyone and was trying to protect her image.
See, that's
and you know, that was the problem also. That's the problem also. She wasn't truthful the whole time.
That's my point.
She also said she wasn't sleeping with Tory, the Gayle King. She was calling a bunch of lies also. So there's that.
So come on.
So there's that. I feel you.
Come on.
There's that.
Come on. That's benefit of the doubt right there.
Here's what I think happened. I think everyone was drunk.
Definitely drunk.
Everyone was drunk.
To be in the situation.
And then Tory somehow brings up that he's fucking Megan, even though he's supposed to be with Kelsey. So a big fight breaks out. And
they ain't
all
supposed
these
to have
women,
slept with the Kris Jenner daughter too.
Well, yeah, Kylie Jenner.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he was trying to holler at her, so everyone was pissed off at him, and everyone was drunk. And then he reveals that he's fucking this, Megan behind this girl's back. So now you got these women that are physically bigger than Tory start to go at it.
Physically bigger than
Tory.
That's correct.
Tory's like 5 feet tall.
Okay, I ain't never seen him in real life, so.
I think a fist fight between Megan and Tory, I think Megan will win. That's what I think. Yeah, I think
so. Man.
Yeah, I think
Don't
so.
do the man like that.
Yeah, no, I think so.
Come on, brother.
I think Megan can get him like in a headlock and give him like a noogie.
Nah, you ain't never fought a little dude, huh? Little motherfuckers is hard to beat, bro.
Well, I mean, little motherfuckers pull off guns, and
Nah, fuck all that. I'm talking about just in a fight. It's hard to beat a little dude that's in shape, bro, that know what he's doing.
All right,
I'm telling you.
Fair enough. I'm just saying what I think happened was the 2 girls started fighting, and Tory kind of got in the middle of it, probably got thrown around a little bit, got his feelings hurt. The gun got pulled out. I think Tory may have shot it first, and then he grabbed the gun and was like, I'm tired of all y'all bitches, and was shot at the ground out of frustration.
I just don't see it, bro.
Okay.
I don't see it.
I mean, he was convicted.
I don't really. For one, Vlad, you got to think of his celebrity. You got to think of his stature. Him and her was famous. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
For the most part, why would you? You know what I'm saying? With that type of fame and stature, why would you even do some shit like that? Why would you? And who gun was it? Did they find out? It was his gun.
It was his gun.
It was legally his.
Well, it was his gun. I think he wasn't allowed to carry it around. Well, no, it wasn't even legally his gun because he's Canadian.
That's what I'm saying. So how did they
But
know it was
the gun was in his possession.
Really?
It was his gun.
Oh, that's what they're saying.
That's what they're saying.
Okay.
Well, but gun residue powder was found on his hands and Kelsey's hands. So there was some sort of
all right then.
Something.
So that's reasonable doubt to me.
Listen.
That's reasonable doubt to me. I'm just saying. It's reasonable doubt to me, bro.
Listen, if I didn't
Why
shoot...
Kelsey ain't in trouble for nothing?
Well, she could be charged with perjury. She changed her story around. The story she gave to the cops.
But she's free.
Yeah. You know, it was different than the story she gave on the stand.
I think
you got him apologizing to her over the jail phone.
Tory in jail for not telling, bro. That's what I think.
Okay.
That's what I believe.
I'm not going to jail over someone else shooting somebody.
Of course you're not. But you're not Tory.
I'm taking the stand, and I'm saying, Your Honor, she was the one who did it. Okay. You know.
I would at least, you know, the thing for me was the phone call when he called from jail. I'd have been like, bitch. I'd have been like, bitch, no, bitch, you know I didn't do this. You got me fucked up. I'm in here for some. I'd have been like that.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Now, getting on the stand and telling is a different thing, but I'd have definitely been on her head on that phone call, like, bitch, you got me fucked up.
Like, you're apologizing to the shooter. You're sitting in jail.
Yeah, exactly.
That'd be like me and you go out, you shoot somebody.
That's the part that made him look really,
me and you
really
go
bad.
out, you shoot somebody, I get locked up for it, and I apologize to you? What am I apologizing for?
Exactly.
You're the shooter.
But you know,
should be
coming down
apologizing
off
to me.
Maybe he was on pills and shit too.
No,
I'm telling you, you ain't never did these drugs, bro. I'm just trying to tell you, like, that shit make you emotional.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So who knows? I mean, I don't know. I'm trying to play devil's advocate. I don't know.
Look, at the end of the day, he had a trial. He was found guilty. He has a chance to do an appeal. If it goes through and he wins, then I'll say, okay, then I hope
it does, because it's just too many inconsistencies all the way around. And for him to, you know what I'm saying, I don't think it's fair, bro. For him to be the only one in there when there's gunpowder on her hands as well. That don't seem fair to me.
Yeah. Well, I mean, but this is what happens oftentimes when you don't cooperate. When you let other people tell the story for you.
Yeah,
because think about it. Kelsey said initially to the police he was the shooter.
Mm-hmm.
Megan said he was the shooter. He's saying nothing.
Yeah, I mean, shit.
See what happens?
Of course. But
you're saying nothing.
He's not supposed.
Two women, including the victim, is saying you're the shooter.
I understand. Well, I guess he just, he didn't tell, so he got to go through it. Fuck it.
I'm sure after he got stabbed that first time, he wished he had told.
Probably not.
After stabbing number one, how many stabs do you think it took until he finally said I should have told?
I don't think.
He
probably still don't feel like that.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think so, yeah.
I guess, man. Listen.
Yeah, I know, because you don't really understand, but you don't understand the dynamics.
Cool. I don't have to understand.
Of course.
I'm cool not understanding.
I'm sure. I don't want
my kids to understand
I grew up
this.
like you, Vlad.
I don't want my friends to understand it.
I wish I grew up like you. I wish I was square as a, you know what I'm saying?
I like being
swear
square.
to God. Because it's a better life. You know what I'm saying? But, coming from, that other world, it's like, he probably did the right thing.
Okay,
you got to suffer the consequences of it, but, you
did the right thing. You got stabbed 14 times.
Yeah. That's what happens in jail, bro.
What's the prize? What's the prize for doing the right thing?
It ain't no prize. It's not a prize.
Do you think for doing the right thing, you should have all this protection?
The fact that you was in the situation and you know what I'm saying, and you gotta do the time behind it, that's enough. You know what I'm saying? Now going to jail, just dealing with the dynamics of that can happen to anybody, bro. Trust me.
Yeah.
Anybody. Nobody's above that.
Did you see the video?
Nah. I don't be trying to watch. I got too much shit in my head that I'm trying to get out that I don't want to see. Yeah, I don't be trying to watch too much of that.
I watched that video. That was not like a warning stab. That was attempted murder.
Yeah, because he probably blacked out. You know what I'm saying?
14 times.
Bro, he probably been wanting to stab a whole lot of people, and then Tory just was the person that got in his way.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Because jail, you waking up frustrated. You have all type of issues with just your cellie alone. Fuck all the rest of the inmates, just living in the cell with a person. You know what I'm saying? When a motherfucker do some shit in the toilet, don't clean it out. You know what I'm saying? Or pass gas in your face. Like, just all of this shit. I'm telling you, bro, it's like a fucked up life. You know what I mean? So Tory just probably got the brunt of all of his frustration. You know what I'm saying?
Were you involved in any stabbings?
I can't say that if I was. No.
Okay. Have you ever been stabbed?
No. Never. No.
Okay. Have you seen a stabbing like this, like a 14?
Fuck yeah.
A
Worse
14
than that.
stabbing?
I seen a motherfucker get stick in hitting the back of the neck, and the knife was this much out the front of his throat, and nobody seen it when it happened. That's how slick they was when they did it. All we do was see dude walk in front of the program office and collapse. Boom, and then everybody looked over and was like, oh shit, they hit the button. Yard down. I seen some crazy shit, bro. I seen people get their face sliced open where the skin just went all the way up to the top of their scalp. I seen some sick ass shit. Yeah. I seen people commit suicide in there. I seen a dude get his sheet, tie a bunch of knots in it, kept flushing the knots down the toilet until it got stuck and just choked him out to death, and all of his fluids came out. I seen some crazy shit in jail that you can't imagine. That's why I say I don't want to watch nothing else. Like, I seen too much shit. And before that, my friends on the street dying in front of me. Yeah, like, come on, bro.
How many years did you do total?
I did 10 years and 4 months.
If you look at those 10 years, what percentage of that time did you have a knife?
About the first 6.
6 years?
Well, yeah, close to me leaving, then I started staying away from that. But people around me had them, yeah.
So for 6 years, you kept a knife somewhere?
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
Okay, and then for the last 4 years, you're like, okay, I don't want to get caught with it.
Yeah. I want to get the fuck out of here.
Okay. What was your knife made of? Was it just one knife, or did you have multiple knives?
All different kinds, or whatever I could find. Some was plastic, some was steel. Yeah.
Did you make any yourself?
Of course.
So describe how you made a knife.
I can't do all that, Vlad.
Okay.
I can't do all that.
Got
But people in there, they know what it is. I can't do all that. That's too much.
No, I mean, I've seen it all types of ways. Like,
yeah.
Toothbrushes.
You can see that shit on YouTube now, but I ain't finna do all that.
Okay.
But yeah.
Since last time, Big U and a bunch of the Rolling 60s got locked up.
Yeah, I seen that.
43 count indictments, including RICO. And a whole bunch of extortion and wire fraud and bank fraud and tax evasion. And they are implying he was involved in the murder as well. In Vegas, actually.
Yeah, with the little youngster.
Yeah. Do you know Big U personally?
Yes, I do.
And I interviewed Big U. Cool dude. We kept in touch.
He was cool with me as well.
I'm sure our phone calls probably recorded, which is fine.
I hate to see him going through it, man, because it's like, damn. Big U is not young, for one. He's about damn near 60, right? Big U is like close to 60.
He is 58 years old.
58, so yeah, it's just like, fuck, bro. That's just too much, man. I feel for him.
Yeah. I mean, are you surprised at all?
I mean, from the internet shit that I've been seeing, I'm not surprised, because it's kind of like, it's almost the Keefe D shit. You know what I'm saying? You kind of talked yourself into that situation, because.
But he was really talking reckless. Like right in the
Kinda,
interview with him,
because it was other people accusing him of shit, and he was always defending himself. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I feel like if somebody accused me of something and I know I ain't did it, I ain't finna say nothing. I'm not even finna engage that shit, especially on the internet. Cause you know, it's just the police is right there, bro. You know what I mean? Every time you log on that motherfucker, especially if you're a gang member or something, they right there taking down all the shit you talking about. So I think it was just too much internet back and forth shit to me. That's what seems like that got him in there.
Yeah, but they had wiretaps on him going back like 10 years.
God damn.
Yeah. And along with him was Brick Baby.
Yeah.
Who I had just seen like 2 days before.
So they all on the same case?
I think so, yeah.
Whoa.
They all got picked up at the same time.
I thought they weren't even fucking around with each other. Like,
no, they weren't. But I guess they're turning it into a RICO Rolling 60s kind of thing. Yeah, I mean, I was at the Beverly Center and just randomly ran to Brick Baby. It's like, oh shit, he was there with a bunch of people. I was like, yo, what's up?
Yeah,
gave each other a hug, like, oh, how you been? How you been? Yo, man, we gotta get up again. Yeah, cool. You could tell he had no idea what was about to happen. It's just crazy how you meet someone and not a care in the world.
But then, you know, it's like, you know, what you out here doing? Like, how are you out here living the fact that you can get caught up in these type of things? You know what I mean? So, I don't know, man. You know, good luck to them, but I don't think it's cool to be, you know, they fathers, you know what I'm saying? They had families and shit. It's like, and Big U was doing a lot of shit for the youth, right?
Yeah.
Like in the Crenshaw district. Like, that's horrible, man.
Yeah, but that's actually part of his case also. Intentional misapplication of funds from an organization receiving federal funds. 5 counts of embezzlement. And then counts of bank fraud. I don't know, man. Like, I was sad when I heard it.
Yeah.
Me and Big U had a good relationship.
And
I mean,
you
I'm not
did
gonna
a
say
lot of
we were
time
like
already.
good friends
It's
or
like, that's
nothing,
not.
but yo, I would call him, he would pick up, he would call me, I would pick up, he would chop it up. I remember when Loose Cannon was trying to do that whole like, you know, oh, Big U backdoor Nipsey, and I was like, I called him up. I'm like, I'm so sorry you're having to deal with this bullshit right now.
Yeah, I never believed that
Yeah,
shit.
and I remember I did no jumper the next day and addressed it. I was like, this is bullshit. Like,
Yeah.
like come on, with all, like the trial is over, right? With all the evidence, everything else like that, the prosecution had access to everyone's cell phone records and everything else like that. You would think that at some point his name would come up.
Yeah, for sure.
If he had anything to do with that situation.
For sure, yeah.
It doesn't even make sense.
No, it doesn't.
Like you saw what happened. It's almost like people creating the Tupac conspiracy that was really the government. As opposed to, you know, you jump on this guy who has a history of shooting people.
Right.
And then you get shot.
Right.
Right?
Yeah, for sure.
It all connects. You know, you go and insult this person who has a history of shooting people.
Yeah.
And then you get shot.
That's the thing in the hood. Like you accuse somebody of something, you got to watch out. You know what I'm saying? You whoop somebody's ass in a fist fight, you got to watch out. More than likely, they coming for you. That's just how it go. People don't want to take no losses. Because then, you know, like it's gonna be forever talked about. Oh, he knocked you out. Oh, you know what I'm saying? This nigga calling you a rat. And you got to walk around. It's like a shame, you know what I'm saying? Like having a scarlet letter on your body, you know what I'm saying? So people don't want to accept that. And that's the way they use, you know, I ain't saying it's right, but that's the way they handle it. You know what I mean?
I mean, have you seen people accusing someone else of being a snitch?
Of course.
Like, not in prison. Because in prison, from what I understand, it requires immediate action.
Absolutely. But even on the streets, the same way.
Yeah?
You ain't supposed to allow that. Not in the hood, no. How you gonna walk around? How you gonna hold your head high if people are around here? Because, you know, you say it, then people will start thinking that you really did it. You know what I'm saying? And like nowadays, it used to be you had to come with some black and white from the courts, you know what I'm saying, with documents. Now, that shit don't even matter no more.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
it's just an accusation.
They can just say it, yeah. And then,
you know,
like,
you can Photoshop
depending on who say it, if you got a name, it holds more weight. You know what I mean?
I mean, I'm sure having someone as big as Nipsey Hussle, the biggest person in this whole region, calling, you know, asking if you're a snitch with other people.
But that was supposed to stay in, you know, inside their neighborhood. It wasn't supposed to actually, you know, it was their business. You know what I'm saying? It should have never got out. That's what I'm saying.
What do you mean?
What I'm saying is, like, if they had that situation going on, it should have never, me and you shouldn't even know about it. That's all I'm saying.
She's saying Cowboy shouldn't have said what happened and so forth?
It ain't supposed to be spoken on. That's the code. You ain't supposed to speak on those things. You just not. You're just not. That's just really that's the way it's been. You know what I'm saying? Now, it might be outdated or whatever because it's 2025, but that's what it's supposed to be. Yeah.
Well, Big U is reportedly representing himself after his lawyer withdraws. So his lawyer, Arturo Hernandez, said there's a breakdown in communication and wants to get off the case. He said the attorney-client relationship has deteriorated to the point where continued representation would be unfair to both the client and the court. And Big U said he doesn't have enough money to hire a new lawyer.
This is a federal case.
Yes.
Whew, good luck, you. Shit.
Now, Wack thinks he's doing this on purpose so he can get all the discovery and see all the people that are testifying against him.
Smart.
Without having a lawyer, you know, filtering this information from him.
That's intelligent. If that's what he's doing.
That's what's happening?
I don't know. I wouldn't do it.
Have you ever seen anyone represent themselves?
Not in the feds, no.
In the state?
In the state, for sure.
What happened?
I seen people win.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
You've seen someone get in a courtroom.
Yep. Some of the craziest niggas in Los
to be
Angeles.
A lawyer.
Man, Vlad, I done seen two of the craziest niggas that you wouldn't want to be around if you saw them with me right now. You would be like, let me get me the fuck up out of it. I seen two of them type of motherfuckers win their case in the state. Yes, I have.
Were you actually in the courtroom?
No, but I was there. We was going to court at the same time.
Okay.
And so, like, when you go to Men's Central, downtown Los Angeles, everybody that's going to court at the same time intersects. So we spend a lot of times in the holding cells down there with each other and go over, you know what I'm saying, go over each other's cases. Because once you go into court like that, you got all your paperwork with you. So you got all these fucking documents that you carry every day, especially if you're going to trial. So I sat there and sat with them and watched them go through the motions. But was I physically in the court? No. But I know that they got out after representing themselves. Yeah.
I guess it's like, how do you even pull that off? Because even lawyers don't represent themselves.
Let me tell you one of the easiest ways to do it. Get a speedy trial. You don't give the DA and them enough time to get enough evidence and shit like that and interview a lot of people, you have a better chance with a speedy trial. Yep.
That is if you don't have a serious lawyer.
Whatever. I don't care if you do have a serious lawyer.
Really?
If you do a speedy trial, Vlad, they don't have enough chance. They don't have enough time to gather up all the evidence and do all the fucking interviews and all that shit. They just don't, especially if you got a big caseload already. Got to think about it. California, all the crime that happens, the jails is overcrowded. You think the DA got enough time to gather, you know what I'm saying? That's why they be wanting to carry it out for 3 and 4 years, you know what I mean, to try to convict you. If you do a speedy trial of 2 months after you get caught, you fucking around and beat it. I'm telling you, a lot of people, I've learned that from these crazy individuals, I'm telling you.
Well, even if you don't have the money, you can get a court-appointed attorney, right?
Of course.
Is that free?
It's free, but that ain't what you want. That ain't what, if you
rather
got a
represent
serious
yourself?
case, you don't want to. Man, listen, man, them people they work with the DA, so you don't want to go to court with that. Not if you facing life or a lot of years. You just because they make deals with each other. We know this.
Okay. Okay. Look. I'll
The
get my client.
last time I gave you one. Now you owe me.
Right.
So I'll fuck around and be the, you know what I'm saying, the result of a favor that you did for another motherfucker. Like, they do that. That's a known fact. Yeah.
Well, look, I hope he beats it.
I do too.
At 58 years old, with this many charges, there's no real plea deal here.
Damn, that's not good.
20-year plea deal, 10-year plea deal, like you're looking at potentially dying in prison.
Man, that's cold-blooded. It's cold-blooded, bro. Yeah, I hope he don't. That's fucked up.
Well, the Diddy trial is nearing completion.
Yeah, that's been fucking crazy.
Yeah. It's been beyond crazy.
Yeah.
I've been saying this the whole time. I have yet to see any sort of real crimes here. I have yet to see a
seen
RICO,
no real crime.
Sex trafficking. I guess you're flying in male escorts to have sex with Cassie, which they probably would have done for free.
But that's what I've heard. That's not even true. Some of the people that I've seen, they say they was doing it in the same state that they was at. Like,
oh yeah, no, the Punisher dude who I interviewed. He said I was in New York. I would be in New York hotel rooms.
Yeah, so
I asked him,
even...
do you feel like you're a sex trafficker? He's like, no, I like doing it. Cassie, right?
Well,
like,
I mean, hey, I can't blame him for that.
Yeah, and she would set up all the meetings. She would pay them. There's a new audio that came out. She was like threatening one of the dudes.
I heard that last night.
Threatening to kill them.
I heard that last night.
And basically what the defense is saying is that, look, like, she wasn't just being controlled by Diddy. This is how she really is. She's very aggressive herself.
I believe that 100%. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. How do you think this will end?
I think, you said one more time?
How do you think this will end?
How I think it's gonna turn out?
Yeah, the case.
I think he gonna fuck around and get out. If he do get time, it ain't gonna be a lot. But the RICO is not there. What they really trying to get him for, that's not. They haven't made the case for that.
I agree.
Yeah, so I think for the worst thing, they smeared him, and his business is gonna be fucked after this. You know what I mean? But other than that, I don't really see no RICO. I don't see no sex trafficking. I don't see none of that. He's just a freak. Just a wild nigga, you know what I mean? The nigga freakier than the average motherfucker. Like, he's just wild, bro.
No, look, I interviewed the Punisher, right?
Yeah.
And he said that whenever they had their sessions, it'd always be the same thing. Diddy would be there, naked, the Yankees hat on. That's
bro, he making the Yankee look fucked up.
You fucking up the Yankees, right?
Damn, man.
And then they would start having sex. At one point, Diddy would go in the other room, close the door. He would pull out and bust on her. And then she would like jump up and try to like hold the liquid gold on her stomach as she's trying to run into the other room to bring it to Diddy, right? And he said...
To bring it to Diddy.
To bring it to Diddy, right? And he said when he was watching the trial and she said that he would like rub it on his nipples, he said that he was relieved because this whole time he thought that Diddy was eating it.
Yo, man. That alone is, you know what I mean? Like, that's some sick shit, bro. Diddy's a different dude. Like, yeah. He's a freaky nigga, man. I just, you know, I'm thinking about his children, bro. I'm thinking about them, his little daughters and his sons. Okay, y'all boys, y'all kind of grown, but your kid, your little babies, like for them to have to hear that shit, like how your kids is gonna look at you now? Because I'm sure they don't know about a lot of that shit. You know what I'm saying?
None of us knew about this.
I'm saying, but this is children though, bro. That's way different than us. We just the public. We don't gotta give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? Which I don't care at all what the fuck he doing in his private time. But it's like your children, bro. Like, damn, man. You got little girls, bro. Like,
yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
The whole thing is crazy. Kid Cudi took the stand.
Yeah, I seen that.
Would you say Kid Cudi's a snitch?
He's a... Oh, man. I can't really judge him. I can't really judge him because he's a civilian. I can't really say. I mean, he snitched. You know what I'm saying? He did. But he's a civilian too. You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck did you expect? Like, what did anybody expect? He's a civilian. Then ain't he bi or something? I seen him in dresses and shit.
No, I mean, he wears dresses and shit, but I think he's just trying to be artist.
Okay.
You know,
just doing the new artistic shit.
I've never heard any sort of gay shit really from him. I mean, you never know, you know, with this type of artist, but.
Right.
I mean, look, Diddy broke into his house and allegedly set his car on fire. So, you know.
Diddy been wildin', man. Diddy's a wild nigga. How Vlad, would you do some shit like that?
No.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
I've never.
Like, what the fuck is people.
The worst I've done was show up to a female's house unannounced. That's pretty much the worst.
But you was on some bullshit? You was screaming outside?
No. Okay. I just showed up. You know, I had a key to the place anyways, so it was just whatever. Okay. You know, it's not like I caught her, you know, whatever. She just wasn't answering my phone. I was annoyed.
Okay.
You know, she was there.
Well, I'm finna pull up on this.
You know, with one of her female friends, like, you know, she was a little annoyed at me, but that was about it.
Okay.
You know, beating on the door. But, you know, I remember Roger Bonds, his security, said that at certain times, they'd be waiting for Kim Porter's house for like 6 hours. He'd be like, yeah, I know she's in there. Like literally the whole day.
That's extreme. Yeah,
just sit out there.
That's extreme.
And he's like, yo, man, we're gonna get arrested for stalking. He's like, I pay the rent here, so you know it's not stalking, it's my place. Like,
yeah, that's extreme though, man. Maybe
it is.
You know, people that's driven by like sexual deviancy, like maybe I don't know. Maybe that's just comes with the program or some shit. I don't know. That's it. That's extreme though, bro.
That is extreme. That's definitely
for you to want another man's nut on your body is crazy, though. I don't want my own nut touching me, let alone another nigga's. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's crazy, bro. That's some sick ass shit. Like, he needs a lot of therapy.
Yeah,
look,
what
it sound like.
There's never been a time that I've been with a woman and I said to myself, you know, it'd be better than this.
Yeah.
If a dude walked in and started having sex in front of us and I get sloppy seconds. Oh, yeah, that would definitely turn this from an 8 to a 10. Oh, yeah, I need this in my life. Yeah, I don't get it. I just don't get it.
Yeah, I don't get it either.
You know, then the whole thing with 50 Cent's baby mother. I guess they would have like free calls, like 3 dudes a night.
That's fucked up because she got a kid too, man. That's just see, this shit ain't supposed to. Your bedroom secrets ain't supposed to be in the public. It's just that's why you got doors on the room. Like, you understand what I'm saying? Like, yeah, like
I guess to me though, it's like I feel like what they're trying to paint him as is just not really a crime.
It's definitely not.
So look, like with 50 Cent's baby mother, Daphne
because
Joy,
they would have to go to all the brothels in the world and turn them upside down if that's a crime, bro.
Look,
like, come on.
It's like this. So he's messing with Daphne Joy, and he's like, "Look, if you want me to pay your rent, you have to have these free calls with dudes." So she could say, "All right, that's cool. You don't have to pay my rent. I'm good."
That's fucked up. That's it. I respect Daphne, bro. I do. Like,
no, but she didn't do that.
Okay.
She kept doing it and kept getting her rent paid.
Really?
So that's the whole thing. Her rent was $10,000 a month, and he was paying her rent.
Who said this though?
She did on the stand.
She said it.
Yes, he still pays her rent.
Damn.
To this day, while locked up. She's still getting rent paid by him.
Wow.
So, but she has a baby at 50. So
that's what I'm saying.
She's getting real child support. So number one, you don't have to live in a $10,000 a month apartment. Like I got, an apartment, another spot as well. And my spot is dope and it's nowhere near 10,000. Things like 6,500. You have one kid. You don't need 5 rooms.
Right,
like,
of course.
You see what I'm saying? Like a 2-bedroom joint. So if you don't want to be demeaned and you want to have sex with a bunch of dudes, then just say, all right, that's cool. You don't have to pay my rent. I'll go pay my own rent. I'll go work. A lot of these women just don't want to work. They want to live this lifestyle. They want to be flued out. They want to go to Turks and Caicos.
But what about when they get old, though? Have they thought about that?
I don't think so.
Obviously not, no.
I don't think so.
Damn. Yeah, that's crazy.
But my whole thing is like, look, if I'm with a girl and like, okay, like, I like a certain type of thing sexually. And she says, well, I don't like doing that. And I can say, okay, well, then I'm not going to pay rent anymore because I'm going to go find someone that's more interested in what I like sexually, that's more compatible with me, and I'll pay her rent. There's nothing illegal about that.
There's nothing.
I don't have to pay rent.
You're absolutely right.
Just because, like I'm not forced to keep paying your rent just because you don't want to do some things with me sexually. Like, now I can't force myself on you.
Right.
But if I say, if you don't want to do this, I'm not going to give you money, that's totally legal.
Right, absolutely.
So why is this in the courtroom right now?
It's just like they grabbing at straws, bro. It's not, like you said, it's not really a crime there. And, they just really, like I said, it's more like a smear campaign, if you ask me. I haven't seen one crime yet. I haven't.
Yeah. Flying people out to do things
that they volunteer to do.
They voluntarily do anyways.
Yes, like
think about all the porn sets. Like all the girls they fly in to have
exactly.
sex.
That's
sex
my whole point.
Right?
Exactly.
What's the difference?
Exactly.
There's literally no difference.
There's
You're being
no
paid to
difference.
have sex with a stranger.
No difference. Like I said, the brothels is like that. Swinger parties, it's the same shit. It's like, the fuck you mean? Like, that's crazy.
Yeah, I feel like he's gonna get some sort of lesser charge, like maybe get like 2-3 years, and then Trump is gonna pardon him.
Yeah, probably, yeah.
Because him and Trump are actually friends.
He just gonna, he ain't gonna be able to show his face too much in public.
I don't think so. I think he's gonna get right back out there.
You think so?
Oh yeah, he gonna be
making videos, dancing and shit.
Yeah, he gonna be doing the Harlem Shake. He gonna be Diddy bobbing. Like fuck y'all, I went to the biggest party ever.
Nah, that's
all y'all that diss me aren't invited. DJ
Vlad,
you're not invited.
More of my parties either. Look, nah.
What's that?
No, I was just saying he ain't gonna invite nobody else to none of his parties after that.
But no, a couple of Diddy parties. I mean, they're normal.
I mean, people been knowing Diddy been freaky man forever. You know what I'm saying? It's just he did something. I really believe that whoever that deal was with the alcohol people, whenever he got sideways with them, I believe that's what really happened with him. When he was trying to sue them and all that shit, I think it was the De Leon people or something like that.
Yeah, people like to say that when that whole thing happened,
that's what it seemed like, because that's when it kind of seemed like it all started like going downhill for him, to me.
Yeah, I mean,
and that shit happens though, Vlad. You know that too. Come on, man. Come on, man.
So what? So to get out of a lawsuit,
you be trying to act like
you got the feds on him?
Yeah, bro.
I don't think it's how it
could have been.
I think how it happened. This is how I think it happened.
He been doing this shit since the 90s, Vlad.
I get it.
He been freaking off since the 90s, bro.
I get it.
So why all of a sudden in 2025?
I can tell you one good reason.
Why? Tell me.
Cassie lawsuit. When that Cassie lawsuit dropped,
that was a civil suit?
Yes, but the effect of it was massive.
And he should be able to reverse that after all the shit coming out about her. She should have to get her money back, if you ask me. Because look at that, the tape you heard yesterday.
She got 20 million.
To cut a person up in a million pieces and all that shit. That bitch ain't innocent, bro. She was
the ringleader. It was
that's what I'm trying to say.
She really ran bad boys.
Then I also heard as well from people that know them intimately that when he used to be fucking over Kim Porter, rest her soul, that she used to be sitting there laughing and encouraging the shit as well. You understand what I'm saying? Man. So she just, she's a cold little, man. Just a cold little person, bro.
No, man, I kind of feel like, I mean, look, she got 20 million from Diddy and 10 million from the Intercontinental. 30 million. This is the biggest come up in the history of C-level celebrities.
She hit a
There's
lick.
never been a C-level celebrity. And listen, at the end of the day, that's that's what she is. She wasn't a real star. She didn't have a catalog of hits. She wasn't like a reality show
But still, though,
darling.
is it morally good to like come up off of people like that, though?
Well, I think what's going to happen is that she's going to get sued. Like all the escorts and stuff are going to start suing her. Now she's got the money to do it. Now she's got the money to actually pay up.
I didn't think about that.
They're going to say, oh, she booked me. She made me pee in her mouth.
Whoa.
You know, she took advantage of me sexually with money, you know, against my will. I was sex trafficked by her. Because look, when I interviewed Punisher, he said every single meeting was booked by her. And every time I got paid, she would hand me the money. Every single time. Every single time.
I didn't think about that part.
Yeah.
So yeah, she better, yeah.
I think she got immunity for taking the stand, obviously, because she can get charged with some of the same sex trafficking that he could.
Yep, exactly.
But she got $30 million. I think her and her husband got together and was like, look, I'm a personal trainer. You don't work at all. We live in a one-bedroom apartment with 2 kids.
We need this money.
We need this money.
Yeah, but man, I don't know how people can live like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's cold-blooded.
Listen,
some
I would be surprised.
It's not.
I wouldn't be surprised if he divorced her, because I bet you they don't have a prenup. He walked away. $15 million. It's about a city boy summer. City boy summer this summer, right?
He came up. You just a personal trainer.
Came up.
You can't.
Personal trainer. Did you see this right here?
Let's finish him properly this time.
You could not live with your own failure. And where did that bring you? Back to Diddy and his money. I thought that by eliminating Tupac, people would respect Bad Boy. But you shown me that's impossible.
Well, everybody don't like baby oil, Puff.
Yo, baby mama loved it.
Wankster.
What you need to do is pay me back from my Porsche you set on fire.
I never even been in your house.
You broke into my house and opened all my Christmas presents up.
Hey, Sergeant Snitch, why don't you ask Cassie to buy you one? She got plenty of money now.
What did you expect? I married a personal trainer. I was broke.
50% of dudes coming out of prison think they personal trainers. It's a saturated field.
Prison's not so bad.
What the helly?
You ever bust a spread?
Only thing you like to spread is man chowder all over your chest.
If you would've just let me watch you slam the ham, then all this could have been avoided, Playboy.
Bro, no.
I ain't gonna let you doom like you did Justin Bieber, Puff. It's over. You and it.
I had Joe BM popping mollies like Tic Tacs.
She was a doorknob. Everybody gets a turn.
They crazy, bro. Who made this?
I got something for you now, bro.
50, I don't know what happened. Diddy gave me a pill and I woke up 5 years later.
Hey, you might want to go get tested.
Is that Justin Bieber? Damn, they cold, bro. The internet is...
That's AI right there.
They cruel, bro. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy, bro. Yeah, I don't... Yeah, bro. I don't want to be a celebrity. No. Oh, God. I don't want my kids to get in none of this shit, bro. Please don't try to be famous. On the real. Fuck that.
Yeah.
This shit, wow, that's crazy, bro.
It's insane. It's insane. And
I mean, it's funny and it's laughable, but at the same time, it's like, come on, bro.
Yeah. Now, I hope he gets a couple years and comes home and just slays low.
Hopefully, man. Just... I mean, take your freaky ass to Ibiza somewhere where they like to do that shit.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, man. It's just, it's sad, bro. It's sad to see him go through that. It's just sad to see a lot of our, you know, black celebrities, because they're kind of heroes to a lot of people in the hood and shit like that. You know what I'm saying?
I think Diddy was a hero to a lot of people, man.
Yeah.
I mean, look, you can't deny what he's pulled off.
Absolutely, yeah.
Classic albums, you know, clothing, TV shows, liquor, like he's really done a lot.
People get drunk with money and power too. You know what I'm saying? Like they go to their head and it just come out. You know, now they can really exercise the wild shit that's really inside of them. You know, on a large scale, and it's just it's sad to see. It's sad to witness, bro. It's like Suge being in jail. You know what I'm saying? After being one of the top CEOs at one point. You know what I'm saying? He was the richest black CEO that came from Compton, California. A place where, you know, it's really unheard of. You know, you and Easy, You know what I'm saying? New York is a big place. You know what I'm saying? Compton is very small, but I'm just saying it's just sad to see these black heroes, you know, crash and burn. You know what I'm saying? After a while, it's like, yo,
well,
it's
I
fucked
feel
up.
like, you know, you get to a certain point and you just have to really adapt to where you are and become a different type of person in terms of the way you operate.
Absolutely.
Like, me and Suge talked on the phone a few months ago.
Mm-hmm.
And first thing he said,
Y'all had a
was
civil
like,
conversation?
yeah. No, we got on the phone. He's like, yeah, you know, I heard a few things you said about me. I know you would have said that to me, you know, in person, but you know, whatever. That's just water under the bridge. And I'm like, okay, he's being Suge right now. Like, he's like lightweight threatening me.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Say like, oh, you would have said that to my face. But it's like, at some point, you just want to stop being that, because that worked for you for a few years with Death Row, and it worked against you for the rest of your life. You know what I'm saying? Like, Suge could have been, who could I compare him to? Like, let's just say something like a Shaq.
Yeah.
Right? Shaq had his run in the NBA, but then he just became the lovable guy that everyone wanted to work with and be around, because he had a cool personality. Like, look, I was at Staples, and Shaq is like advertising printers. Literally, there's a big life-size Shaq picture with Epson printers.
His endorsements are still.
His endorsements are insane.
Yeah. And then he did the right thing with his money as well. He made a lot of great
his money
investments.
And so forth. Okay, so Suge had his run with Death Row. It was over. He could have been the cool, you know, guy that's doing reality shows, that's getting involved in businesses, that's doing, but no one wanted to work around Suge. You just heard too many horror stories. And he kept, you know, trying to, you know, remember he got knocked out by Akon's manager because he was trying to like collect some money. It's like, come on, man, you were collecting money before Death Row, right? You did it with Vanilla Ice. Yeah, you hit a couple licks before anyone knew who you were.
Yeah.
But you can't do that anymore. You can't say, okay, I'm going to go back to what I was doing before.
You got to take a page out of Jay-Z's book. You know, he's from the projects. He came up, hit that lick, and he got all the way corporate and got out the way.
Got out the way.
You know what I'm saying? Not putting himself in these circles and around these certain type of people. And you know what I'm saying? He's minding himself, you know what I mean? So he can maintain his lifestyle. Like, and that's what you have to do if you come, you know, anybody that's out there right now, and if you happen to become a mogul from out the hood, see what's going on now and learn what to do and what not to do. You know what I'm saying? So you don't end up in these situations, because these are horror stories, if you ask me.
Of course.
You know what I mean?
Doing 28 years in prison. I mean, he tried to get out. Remember, he tried to get his case overturned. The judge threw it out. Like, nope, not even close.
Yeah, because you done did too much already. You know what I'm saying? They not fucking
man.
with you.
He could have really, like, okay, he lost okay, so for example, right, he lost Dre and then Tupac died, but he still had Snoop on his label. He could have been like, okay, I'm going to do everything to keep Snoop on Death Row. He could have whatever money he wants. He could work with whoever he wants. We're going to get a new Dr. Dre in here, maybe bring in DJ Quick, give him a bigger role. Because DJ Quick is,
Dr. Dre was the golden egg, and not even Snoop Dogg. To me, it was Dre. Dre is the man.
So you're saying without,
I used to tell Easy. I used to tell Easy.
No, because Tupac did extremely well with very little Dre.
No, not very little. Dre is the one who put him out there first. He got his start from Dre. Dre was the catapult for Tupac. Now Tupac. Listen to me, bro. I'm telling.
Okay, trust and believe. Go ahead. I'll listen. Go ahead.
I'm telling you, Dre was the golden egg, bro. Dre is the one who created Death Row. The whole sound that you like from Death Row is Correct. Dr. Dre.
100%.
The whole Ruthless sound, the NWA, that's Dr. Dre.
All Dre, right.
Kendrick Lamar, whoever you want to name, Eminem, that's Dre. You're not supposed to let that person get away. I used to tell Easy he was stupid for letting that man get away, bro. That's the man. I don't care what nobody says.
All I gotta say is, Tupac had the #1 record in the country before working with Dre.
What do you mean?
Me Against the World was the #1 album.
But it didn't do as well? It didn't do as well? It
went #1.
Okay, then.
Dear
a lot
Mama
of people
was a
went
mega
#1.
smash.
You can go #1 with a gold album, DJ Vlad. You can think about it.
Okay, all I'm saying is...
I'm just saying.
Tupac was a star when he came.
To a degree. He wasn't on the death row level, though. He was not.
Yeah, it got cranked up.
And if he was such a star, why didn't nobody else go and get him? You got to think about that as well.
I think people were scared.
Nah.
I think people were scared that they would like bail him out and he would go shoot someone. And you know what I mean? Like someone would go crazy. Like,
Nah.
Well, listen. All I'm saying is death row. I mean, Snoop continued to do well on his own.
Mm-hmm.
With other producers.
Not as great as with Dr.
Not as
Dre.
great as, but Death Row could have kept going.
Leaves Dre
if Snoop was still on the label, look, Snoop was still on the label.
MC Ren said, if Dre didn't do it, I can't fuck with it.
Right.
I'm telling you.
Dog Pound was still on the label.
Yeah, you're not gonna get that sound, bro. You're just not gonna get it.
I mean, Daz produced a lot of big records.
Not like Dre.
Okay, not like Dre, but still, all I'm saying is he had enough to work with.
Mm-hmm.
If he was a serious business person and wasn't trying to play a role of this super gangster with all these bloods around
I agree.
And made it a comfortable, environment. For example, like TDE.
Mm-hmm.
You don't really see people leaving TDE.
No.
I mean, Kendrick left TDE.
Well, his contract was up and he wanted to be his own boss.
But he was still supportive of those guys.
Of course.
You know what I'm saying?
His family,
like he went on tour with SZA, who was TDE's biggest artist.
Absolutely.
He didn't have to do that.
Absolutely.
Kendrick could have toured all by himself.
Yeah.
He did not need SZA.
Absolutely.
He did it.
That's his family.
Because it was a good idea and it made financial sense. And I think to also, okay, I'm comfortable working with this group.
Mm-hmm.
I want to continue to work with Top and all them. And look, biggest tour probably ever at this point.
Right.
Right? You don't hear about Top beating people up. I know Top.
Yeah.
We talk on the phone. We've run into each other. Like, he's a cool dude. I've never had any sort of like, we've had disagreements. I remember he called me about something, but he like politely explained it to him. I'm like, okay, let me look. Okay, yeah. That was it.
Yeah,
it was conversation.
Top didn't get into it for these reasons that a lot of other people
No,
did.
I think he saw Death Row and Ruthless and said, okay, here's what not to do. Now, here's what to do in terms of the musical aspect and whatever, but here's all the pitfalls that I'm not going to do. I'm not going to, make people drink pee.
Yeah, that's
I'm not going to beat people. I'm not going to have a bunch of gangsters in the studio making people feel uncomfortable. And
right.
like Bob James would explain it. It'd be like, a bunch of jail dudes in the studio. One of them just got into an argument with their girlfriend. They're pissed off. Go just smack somebody just because they're annoyed. Now you got this, DOC would describe how like tense it would be because he'd just be there by himself. He didn't have a bunch of guys. Like Snoop had like trading all the Long Beach guys with him, right? Doc was just by himself, just stressed out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like hoping nobody assaults him.
Like, shaking.
Like, I'm just trying to do my job. I ain't got no voice. Yeah. I'm just trying to write. Make a few checks here. And,
I mean, just leave. I mean, like, come on, man. Like, that's almost like Cassie's shit. Like, you could have walked out, my nigga. You went home all the time.
Yeah.
You didn't have to come back. You know what I'm saying? Like,
DOC, though, was in a special place. Like,
I kind of understand, but he was Dre's friend, too.
That was Dre's guy. Yeah. I don't think DOC could have gone somewhere else and made money as a writer in the same way that Dre would have taken care of him. But then again, Dre didn't really take care of him because the money was never quite right.
Right.
He never really got everything.
That's another reason to leave. That's what I'm trying to say too. Like,
yeah.
I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know. But yeah, Suge, I think the first time he got out of jail, he should have revamped Death Row and he should have hired another person to stand in his place and just directed everything from the back. That's what he should have did.
But he's also
and he would still have it.
Remember the Tupac, he violated his probation over the MGM fight.
That's what I'm saying.
So he got, he had to go to prison for a while. Then Reggie had to take over.
Yeah,
and kind of keep it going.
But that wasn't. I mean, he should have got a professional. You know what I mean? Like
they got Crooked I, but they couldn't really develop him. And Crooked I, went on to become a solid artist, but he never got to a level of a Snoop Dogg,
right,
or an Eminem,
right. Which is shameful because that boy is so raw.
No, he spits.
Yeah,
but he didn't have the machine to turn him into that.
I understand.
So ultimately, look, the label got sold and resold, and ultimately Snoop ended up taking it over, and he put out a few projects with some of the older artists, but I don't think anything was really reacted. I mean, it's just a legacy label at this point.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone's really checking for the next Death Row release.
Yeah, of course.
So
yeah.
Yeah.
There's too much ego, man. Too much ego and too much pride. And yeah, I mean, they got to live with it. So, hey.
Well, right now we're in LA and the ICE protests have been crazy.
Yeah, which is fucking, yeah.
What's your take on it?
I don't know, man. I don't agree with it. I mean, I don't agree with the way they doing it for sure. It's a lot about it I don't understand. One of the things I don't understand is like, I got a lot of Mexican homies, and I don't want to say the wrong thing, but I don't understand the Mexican flag, but you want to stay in America. That part to me is kind of like, you Mexican, you represent for your people. I totally understand, but it's like, it's kind of, I don't know. I don't really know how to feel about it. I just don't like the way ICE is going about it. You know what I'm saying? Because they hurt. There's a lot of people getting hurt. You know what I'm saying? Like, they splitting up families and shit like that. I just think they're going about it the wrong way. But another thing is, I was telling one of my friends too, I was like, I don't know no other country you can just walk in a country illegally and stay. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
you know Napoleon from the Outlaws?
Uh-huh.
He lives in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
He has businesses like restaurants in Saudi Arabia. In our last conversation, I said, so you're a citizen, right? He goes, no, I don't have citizenship. I said, I have a visa. I have to keep extending it.
Yeah.
Hopefully they'll let me keep extending it, but he goes, I don't know if I'll ever get citizenship.
Right.
Because Saudi Arabia is a like a welfare country that has a lot of benefits for the citizens. So a lot of people want to come there just to get the benefits. So they don't give out citizenships all that often. But imagine if they told him that, that his visa expired and he starts to tear up the office in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, it wouldn't happen.
I mean, he'd probably get 20 years.
Yeah, they'll cut his head off. And,
something.
Yeah.
Saudi Arabia?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, but it's like, that's what I'm saying. Like, so it's
what
like,
I mean?
that's like, look, I don't want to, that's why I say, man, it's a touchy subject. I don't want to offend nobody because I love the Mexican people, bro. I grew up with them. They lived next door to me my whole life. I got some people that I'm like this with, you know what I'm saying? If they call me right now, I'm gonna show up for them. But it's just, it's a touchy subject. And I just think it's wild. I don't agree with the way they doing it. That's what I'm telling you. I don't agree with the way ICE is coming in. It's just running people off their jobs. You know what I'm saying? They stopping people in the middle of traffic, snatching them out of cars. It looked like some what they call it, Gestapo. Like it looked like some shit like that. You know what I mean?
Well, look, I'm an immigrant.
Yeah.
I came over when I was 5, but I legally came over. Right? I guess to me, this is how I look at it. You're here illegally. Okay, you built a life. You work a job. You pay taxes. But in the back of your mind, you're still here illegally. So you should be prepared for that to eventually run out. And you gotta either.
It's like if you was on the run and say you went somewhere and you settled. But you're still on the run. You know what I mean? You might have like how Whitey Bulger was.
Whitey Bulger.
Yeah.
That's like him blowing up the FBI office. I was living a good life. Why you disturb me?
Yeah.
I only killed 20 people.
Exactly.
I wasn't bothering anybody. I didn't kill anyone recently.
Nah, real shit.
I'm just saying,
like, like, it's just like, look, bro, if I commit a crime right now and I don't want to get caught for it and they eventually catch me, I did the fucking crime. Do you understand what I'm saying? So I can't really say nothing about that part. Like, I really can't. But if people been here, because they ain't taking people who was born here, right? They're taking people.
No, if you're born here, you're a citizen.
Okay.
100%.
See, I really don't know. I don't know the fine line because some of the shit look a little.
Look, the one thing I don't like is I hate these like videos with like black people saying, we're going to be next. We got to stand with the Mexicans because they're going to take us next. No, they're not taking anyone next.
Yeah. They should have took us a long time ago.
You're born in this country.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're born in LA. You're not going anywhere. They're not taking you next. Like everyone is getting deported.
But then I did see some people like, what's the one guy? he was famous on TikTok for doing this when somebody do something
Yeah,
stupid.
right.
They took him out of Vegas, bro.
Well, because his visa expired.
Oh, so that's what happened.
Yeah.
It wasn't just
he was from a foreign country. He was here for a certain amount of time.
Okay, and his visa
He
expired.
overstayed his welcome.
Okay.
And
see, I didn't know all the details.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
Either they told him or he checked with his lawyer and they're like, you got to either
I just
get
thought
a new
some
visa
of the
or
shit.
you got to go.
I'm like I tell you, I really don't pay attention. I see it. It just come across my timeline sometime. I don't investigate
attention, man. I'm an immigrant, so like I can relate to this. At the end of the day, well, I think since I'm a total citizen, I don't think I can get deported for anything, even if I commit a murder.
Yeah,
I don't think I'll get sent back to Russia or the Ukraine or whatever they classified it as at this point. Okay. But like, for example, Shine was not a full citizen, so when he got caught up in the shooting,
he wasn't?
No. I think he was sort of like in the middle.
Okay.
I think like
he didn't complete the whole process.
His mom didn't complete the whole process, and she was here like through some sort of visa. So when he got caught in the shooting, it was like, okay, you got to go. Like Tory Lanez, like once he completes the sentence, he's gonna get deported back to Canada.
Yeah.
You can't come to America, shoot somebody, and expect.
Yeah, you can't do nothing in nobody's country and think you can.
Go anywhere else in the world.
That's my only thing about it.
It's not fair. Go anywhere else in the world and try this bullshit.
You can't get away with it. You can't go to Mexico and you can't fucking jaywalk over there without getting, you know what I'm saying, getting snatched to the side. I'm telling you, it happened to me.
Listen, the only time I've ever been robbed, like robbed, was in Mexico by the police.
Yeah, it's like an outlaw country though. At the end of the day,
I just gave my money and they went on their way. And
so you can't really blame people from not wanting to be over there as well. But at the same time, I mean, you can't really you can't circumvent the law. It would be nice if you could, but you just can't.
Well, look, you got all these people that are like, I supported Trump and now I got deported. Like, would you think you get a get out of ICE free card if you support him? Like,
right.
He told you what he's going to do. He's always been anti-immigrant.
Yeah.
He's the wall guy. Build the wall.
Yeah, right.
Block countries from coming in. Like, he's always been like that. So now you're mad because it didn't work out in your favor? Like, yo, I don't know. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me. And then you got people who try to get in front of cars and get run over, then they act like they're the victim. Like,
everything is just chaos, man.
It's chaos.
It's just crazy. Like,
it's chaos.
I mean, I don't agree with it 100%, but I do understand that, you know, I can't do this in nobody else's country. I can't just go over there and, you know, I could try to lay up under the radar as much as I want, but once they catch up with me, that's going to be my ass. You know what I'm saying? So,
look,
I mean,
it's like me, let's just say I didn't pay taxes for 10 years, and then suddenly I got to pay all these penalties. So I go blow up the FBI, blow up the IRS office.
Yeah.
Because I'm mad at them. They caught me, and now I got to pay all this money, and now I'm fucked.
Yeah.
And it's somehow their fault. I chose to stay. You know, if I was an illegal immigrant, you were here for a long time. It's unfortunate. I get it. It's sad what the outcome is. But nobody is making up charges against this person. I can imagine suddenly, like, every Mexican gets all these false charges on them. Right. You know, they're all labeled as murderers when they didn't do anything. No, like they're saying you don't have a citizenship here, so you can't stay. Go back, get a visa, do something. But look, you came over here illegally.
Yeah.
So now you're trying to wreck the office. You're causing all this violence. I don't agree with it, man. I don't agree. I usually don't agree with Trump.
Up. It's hard to drive through this motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Like we used to right now. So I mean, that's the part that I don't like about it. But you know, like I said, it's a pride thing with them, and it's like I said, I don't want to offend nobody because I know how they feel. You know what I'm saying? Like, but shit, yeah.
This doesn't work anywhere else.
It doesn't.
Go to any other country, including Mexico. Go to Mexico and stay there for 10 years illegally. And then get mad when you get deported back to America. It just is what it is.
Yeah.
Were you surprised that Trump pardoned Larry Hoover?
Not really. Not after he pardoned people like Harry O and stuff like that.
NBA Youngboy.
Huh?
NBA Youngboy.
NBA Youngboy. Kodak Black.
Lil
Yeah,
Wayne.
I wasn't surprised. No. That's the thing about Trump. It's like you want to like him, but then he turn around and do some shit to make you hate him. It's like, I don't know, man. It's hard to figure him out.
Yeah.
What you think about him? Like,
yeah, I mean, R. Kelly's trying to get a pardon from him right now.
Damn, because he's going through some shit. I heard.
He got an overdose.
Yeah. Oh, okay. They gave him too much shit in there.
He claims that the prison guards are trying to kill him.
You don't think they are? They do shit like that.
Have you seen a guard kill an inmate?
I've seen a guard set an inmate up to get killed.
Explain.
I ain't finna do all that, Vlad. I ain't finna do it. See what I'm saying? He's trying to twist me.
We talk about guards now.
Yeah, I know. I don't give a fuck. I still can't. Yeah,
so
man.
You can't cooperate against the police either?
Hell no.
Okay.
I ain't doing none of that shit. But yeah, they do shit like that. I'm gonna just let you know.
Okay, so
they do shit like you gotta let me give you this is my theory on them.
Okay.
Vlad, if you're a prison guard and you become a career CO in jail, that means you're gonna do what? How many years there? In your
30
career?
years, 40
40 years?
Yeah.
If you're there every day, 5 times a day, you're a fucking inmate.
5 times a week.
5 times a week, you're a fucking inmate.
Pretty much. Except you get to go home at night.
You just get to go home, but you when I wake up, you're there. So you're a fucking inmate. So they're corrupt, bro. That's what I'm saying. That's why the corruption in jail was so fucked up, because they're there just as much as the inmates are. A lot of the corruption when it comes to drugs, when it comes to murder, people getting hit, they're involved in a lot of it. Whether you like it or not, that's what they do, bro. I lived there for 10 years, I know. They set up situations for people to get killed. When I first got to Corcoran State Prison, the COs was setting up fights between races in the hole and was killing if it was a black dude, they was shooting him in the head from the gun tower. This was in the newspaper. You can look it up.
Wow.
Yeah, bro. Trust and believe me.
Huh.
Yeah.
And they can say they're justified because...
Yes. The feds came in there and took a lot of them to jail and all type of shit. Yeah. Look it up. Like around what? 96, 97? Look it up.
I believe you.
Corcoran State Prison. Yeah, so that shit happens. Hell yeah.
So you actually knew of someone dying because of inmates, because of a CO
I plead the
set them up.
fifth.
Plead the fifth. Try to ask the same question a different way. It didn't work.
I plead the fifth. I plead the fifth, man. But that shit happens, though. I'm telling you, bro.
I honestly do not know why anyone would take that job. And what's interesting,
after being there, I don't either.
I remember at one point when I was in college, I was working for Intel at an internship with Intel in Folsom, California. And what's Folsom known for? Folsom State Prison.
Exactly.
So essentially,
that's
everyone,
what most people know about Folsom.
Yeah, everyone in that city either worked for Intel or Folsom Prison. The whole town, right? Everyone. Those are the two biggest employers in that region. And I just was like, I don't know why you would wake up in the morning and go do this for a living. It doesn't make any sense. I'd rather be a cop than a CO.
Why do you think a CO lady would end up fucking an inmate? Because she's around them too much. She's not in society, bro. So the only men she's around is fucking niggas that's in jail. You're a fucking woman. You have needs, and if you're attracted to somebody, you're attracted to them. And you end up giving it up. That's what happens. The men in the women prison end up raping the women in there, having kids with them, because that's all they're around, bro, for their whole life. You got to think about that. Like, the money too, but I'm just saying the money is just, but still, how can you enjoy it if you ain't never fucking home? You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, it's probably benefiting your kids, but you're not really getting nothing out of it. You know what I mean? I don't know. I think they should rotate the COs. Make them do 3 months on, 3 months off, some shit like that. That way they don't get corrupt, because I'm telling you, they corrupt as fuck to the core. The only people who not is the warden and people like that don't have to just be there all day. You know what I'm saying? They get to go home and live their lives, but the COs, the captains and the sergeants that got to be on that yard day in and day out, they inmates too, bro. They think just like inmates.
Have you ever personally talked to the warden of any of the prisons you were in?
No, never. Hardly ever seen them. It ain't like the movies where the warden walk on the yard.
Walks in, he's walking around waving to everybody.
That shit ain't like that.
It's not like Shawshank Redemption. No, nothing like that.
Nothing like that.
They have personal meetings with certain prisoners.
Fuck no. You'll see the warden probably once in 2-3 years or some shit.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Listen, I told myself a long time ago I'm not going to do prison.
Yeah,
I got
don't
locked
do it.
up here and there for suspended license, a couple days in jail. That was all I needed. I'm like, this sucks.
Yeah, it's not wise,
cool.
bro. That shit ain't for nobody that have any type of sanity. You don't want to experience that shit, bro.
I've always thought that it was a bad idea to have female COs in a male prison and vice versa.
Then that's kind of like discrimination. So I think that's the reason why they have it. Because if you have them in the military, like, fuck you, you know what I mean? You can't put them in the...
I just feel like there's too many risks associated with it. Number one, a female could be outpowered by almost any male inmate, right?
Man, some of the men are fat and sloppy and slow as fuck as well. Like, they can be overpowered by anybody too. The thing about prisoners is they're programmed for the most part. So they just by the fact that you got the uniform on, they're gonna fall in line. So it's more of a psychology that goes with it as opposed to what you're thinking, is what I'm saying. So usually they're safe. You know what I'm saying? Not to say that different things don't happen, because things have happened to women COs in jail. I'm talking about death, stabbings, beating, but it happens to males as well. And that's usually a result of COs fucking with somebody too much to where they just can't take it no more. It's never like somebody initiate, I'm finna just go kill this bitch. It's never usually that. It's them picking at people.
Yeah, I remember I interviewed this comedian, Ali Sadiq,
Yeah.
from Houston, Texas, and he was locked up in the feds.
The Muslim brother.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And he said this one CO fucked with him and made him do a strip search in front of everybody. And he basically was like, I'm going to kill him.
I'm telling you.
And he was preparing. Like, he was seriously preparing for it.
They would send
and
you
he was
that
like
far.
right there, and his friends basically like talked him out of it.
Yeah, they would send you that far, bro. I've seen it happen. Trust and believe me. I've seen it happen, bro. I swear to God. Like, them people, like I said, they don't have no life, bro. And they in there, they got the keys, they got the weapons, and they take advantage of that shit. You know what I'm saying? And they would aggravate you to that point to where you would literally want to do something to them. Yeah, and it happens to them too sometimes.
What do you think about the whole war between Iran and Israel right now?
I'm not surprised. They've been wanting to do it.
Yeah.
Israel been wanting to take Iran down.
Iran's
Probably since Ayatollah Khomeini. Huh?
I mean, Iran's been wanting to take Israel down the whole time also.
Yeah,
They
because
publicly said it.
I believe it's the way, I believe their problem is the way they got Israel. You know what I'm saying? They came there, invaded, killed people, and ran a bunch of people out. I believe that's what, if they did it, if they did it in a civil manner, if they did it civilly, yeah, they did.
Wait, okay, hold on. Israel was given by the United Nations.
But how you gonna give somebody's land away?
It was a British colony.
Okay.
Okay? And ultimately, the United Nations voted and decided to make it Israel. It was originally a very small region.
Why did they have to exterminate people, though?
Who got exterminated?
A lot of Arabs, bro. A lot of Palestinian people, bro. What are you talking about?
Exterminated? I don't know about that.
Yeah, bro.
I don't know about that part.
Man, go look on YouTube right now. Look up some of the guys who were in the Israeli army back. They'll tell you what they did, bro. They're saying it on YouTube right now. They're in their 70s and 80s. Speaking on what they did to people. I'm telling you. It's not
what you're telling me is that there were psychopaths in the Israeli army.
Absolutely.
Just like there were psychopaths on the other side.
Bro, right? they didn't have a full country. You said it was a British colony, right?
Right.
Think about that.
But what happened was
I'm in my house. I'm in my house.
Yes.
And then you come over here and you kick me out of my home. What do you expect me to do, Vlad?
Be upset.
Kindly leave?
I get it.
All right then.
Wait, but here's what happened though. At the point that Israel became a country, they were attacked by all the other Arab countries.
Rightly so, after exterminating people.
Right when they formed, and then when Israel fought back, Israel started to take over and that's kind of where I feel part of the problem was, because originally Israel was a small country, but after that war happened, they ended up taking over parts of Syria and taking parts of the countries that they actually fought and beat. And that's where the problem started, where it was like, okay, some of these countries wanted their land back. Israel didn't want to give it back because it won it in a war.
Yeah, because they really got it. If you like I said, if I came to your house right now and usurped everything from you, how would you feel?
Right, but it was a colony run by the British.
Doesn't matter.
Nobody
people
really
was there though. People lived there.
But people had been there.
People lived there, and then they still
Israel had changed ownership.
And then people are still coming there
years.
right now, kicking people out of their homes right now to this day. Walking to their house and tell you gotta go. What are you talking about, Vlad?
When does that happen?
Every day. Look on the fucking TV, bro.
What are you referring to exactly?
Look, there'll be a Jewish family that come from Poland, wherever, the United States, and come and walk on a Palestinian property and be like, you gotta get out. While their whole family is in there, bro. Like right now to this day. They're doing it right now.
You're talking about the West Bank.
All of that, whatever.
The West Bank, I don't agree with. Listen, I don't agree with the Israeli government on a lot of stuff.
Okay.
I don't like Netanyahu. I don't personally think that a lot of this shit should have been done the way it was.
That's my point.
At the end of the day, I thought it was a heavy-handed response. The way that kids and women are being killed, you know, in Gaza as they're trying to get Hamas and so forth, I think is wrong. But you can't say that, you know, that the other side was the victim either, because imagine being at Coachella and suddenly 1,000 people come in, open fire, and start taking hostages. That's basically what happened.
Nah, bro.
That didn't happen?
Palestine was invaded with the American and the British, bro, and they came into where people lived, and they had their whole lives, generations of their thousands and thousands of years of their family been there, and was just totally mowed down, killed, and ran out, bro. Millions of refugees is in Jordan, Lebanon, other surrounding countries, and then the ones who didn't survive are dead and gone, bro, with no recourse to justice. What are you talking about? That's wrong on every level. You can't, come on, man. Like, let's
I've always believed in a two-state solution. I've always believed that
but why they never got to that point?
Because I think that the Israeli government is fucked up.
Of course. That's my whole point.
I've always said that both parties are wrong. And the problem is that Hamas doesn't view Israel.
Hamas is propped up by Israel, too. Little do you know.
Hamas is propped up by Iran.
No,
Iran has been financing Hamas the whole time.
No. They probably both. I mean, you know, they probably both playing both sides of the fence. Who knows? But it's something going on with Hamas as well, bro. I don't think they all the way legitimate as well. You know what I'm saying? Because it seems like every time they get to a certain point of peace, these dudes end up doing some other shit to fuck it all up.
Well, but that's the point of terrorism, right? Like,
nah.
The point of terrorism is to stop the peace process.
We can say terrorism. I think that's an excuse for a lot of shit. You just want to throw people want to throw terrorism on top of shit when it's really some fuckery going on really on the inside.
When I say terrorism, I mean a mass attack that targets civilians. You have. I
understand what you're saying, bro. But what I'm saying is,
was 9/11 terrorism? Yes or no?
Yeah, because it was done by your government. It was done by the United States.
Okay, I don't know about that.
I believe that. Okay. Wholeheartedly, I do.
So Bin Laden had nothing to do with it?
Hell no.
Okay.
Hell no.
We're getting off into...
All right, that's what I'm saying. You wanted to ask, I'm going to answer.
Okay, no,
I believe America did that, bro. I think America did that as an excuse to go to Iraq and go to Afghanistan.
Well, Afghanistan.
Yeah, I believe they did that for that reason. I swear to God, I do.
I don't know, man.
And a lot of white people agree with me because I've seen scientists get on there and they show what it takes for steel beams to burn to the ground the way they did. Buildings, when something blow up, it doesn't implode from within and drop down like this, bro. That's an implosion.
It's actually designed to collapse that way because if it
when you implode
like that, imagine when you implode it,
you can't burn steel with fucking airplane fuel, Vlad. It's just impossible.
Okay.
There's a certain type of heat that burns. I'm telling you.
All right.
But say what you want. I'm just saying. You asked, I'm gonna answer.
It's all good.
It's a touchy subject for me because you know I'm Muslim, bro, and I
know
Muslims. I know you do. But I'm just saying.
Have I ever spoken badly about Muslims?
Huh?
Have I ever spoken badly about Muslims?
No, you haven't. I would never say you said no shit like that. Hell no.
Exactly.
I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying like I'm passionate about it, as you can see.
Right.
Because I have friends who have families there who had their family exterminated back in 1947, 1948.
I
wish I could go.
I've had dinner at a Palestinian family. We talked about, you know, sort of like the friction and everything else like that. I've also been to Israel multiple times. So I've actually been there and I've seen both sides. But I think the problem is, this is what I think the biggest problem is, right? Hamas refuses to actually talk directly to Israel because they don't consider them a country. They consider them occupiers, right?
Bro, but
hold on, let me just finish.
Okay,
let me just finish, right?
Go ahead.
And okay, that's fine. They could feel that way. as someone who's been to Israel multiple times, like you go to Tel Aviv, you go to other like cities in Israel, it really looks like California. It's a fully established first world country. There's good internet. There's clean roads. There's freeways. There's big malls and convenience stores and shopping stores and, you know, grocery stores and so forth. At some point, you have to just say this country's not going anywhere. I know that, you know, certain members like Hamas and Al-Qaeda feel that at one point, you know, the river to the sea, they're going to, you know, Palestine is going to take over all of Israel and it's going to go back to, you know, whatever, like 1,000 years ago. But at some point you have to just say, this country is too big and established to go anywhere. It's here to stay. We might as well just negotiate with them and try to figure out some sort of compromise, as opposed to say, we won't stop until this country's eradicated.
Yeah, that's insane. That's insanity to even have that type of ideology.
That's what I'm saying.
Of course.
The whole river to the sea ideology.
Let me tell you about.
That's what I have a problem with.
I understand that.
Yeah.
Now, let me tell you this. Despite all the madness with the deaths and the killings and all that.
Yeah.
What about the way the Israeli the citizenship treat Christian people when they go over there? They get spit on. They go by Christian graveyards and curse the dead mothers and all that. That's psychotic,
There's
bro.
going to
That's
be
some psychotic.
I have been,
but it's like most of the population, though.
I have personally been like, okay, look, like I'm gonna have to like play this card now.
Okay.
I have been there multiple times. I've been through the old city. I've been to the Christian section. You literally, there's the Church of the Sepulchre, which is like one of the holiest places in the world. The church is built on the point where Jesus was crucified on the cross.
So they say.
So they say, exactly. But so there's this coffin where they say that Jesus' body is inside, right? And there's a big line of people. I'm not saying it's true. All I'm saying is you go in there, it's a very holy place. I was with someone who was Christian. She wanted to experience it, so I went with her. Christians are treated perfectly fine in Israel. I have never seen any sort of friction between Christians and
I see it from
Jews.
the Palestinian Christians who say it.
I was actually there.
I know. You probably went on a good day. You seen?
I've been there multiple times.
You probably went on a good day,
Man,
Vlad.
look.
But I've seen other people's testimony, and I've seen them pull their phones out and show the shit, bro, while they're actually over there. They getting chased, getting little kids are spitting on them,
everywhere.
cursing them. But these are children. Who's raising these little kids? Who's doing this, though, bro? These are kids. I'm talking about little kids. Not even 10 years old.
Right.
Bro, like
you got fucked up parents.
You have to be fucked up.
So you haven't seen any fucked up parents that made their kids do stupid shit?
Not like that, bro. I come from Compton. I ain't never seen. I swear to God, Vlad, on my mother, rest in peace. I ain't never seen no kids in Compton coming from drug addicted homes and shit. I ain't never seen no shit like that.
Ali Sadiq told me a story when he was 12. His dad had to leave town and he had to sell drugs for his dad while his dad was out of town.
That's not you walking up to strangers and spitting on them and kicking them because they don't believe in what you believe in.
I'm saying that's poor.
Insane.
It's poor parenting all around.
Of course.
All around is poor parenting.
But keep it in your house. Don't put it into the society.
Listen, there's fucked up parents. There's fucked up parents. There's fucked up human beings on every side.
I get it.
I could show you in any large organization, I could show you someone who's a psychopath. Who's taking the role way too different,
I believe 99.9% of the people on the planet are fucking crazy. I do.
Really?
Fuck yeah.
Huh.
Fuck yeah.
It pushed to a certain point?
Bro, no. The fact that we see somebody get murdered and we don't feel nothing about it. That's a human being at the end of the day. I don't give a fuck what his religion is, what his color is. It's a human being that's been killed in front of you and you don't have no type of heart. Like, for you to see somebody get treated unjustly and to be a human being, knowing that you wouldn't want it to happen to you, that's fucking psychotic, bro. Like, we lost our sanity a long time ago in this world, bro.
Yeah,
that's why a lot of us think it's the end of the world because,
no, you're right.
Yeah, it's just too much crazy shit happening, and we should be outraged at a lot of shit. A lot of it. Well, a lot of it. The justice system. A lot of shit, bro. All the injustices that have been happening to my people.
Yeah.
For over 700-800 motherfucking years now. Like, come on, man.
Nah, I agree. Well, speaking of Islam, Brittney Griner announced that she's now divorced. From Kevin.
Yeah,
a month ago she was married. Now she's divorced. And I mean, obviously it was not a legal marriage, but it was like, in Islam, you could basically do a vow.
You can do it in the mosque. You don't have to take it to the state.
Or...
No, you don't have to take it to the state. So you can get married inside. Like you can get married in the church or a synagogue.
Yeah.
You don't have to take your marriage certificate to the state and get it stamped by the state. You don't have to do that. So most people in Islam, they know, they see what people in America go through when it comes to divorce. So they don't want to involve the state in their marriage because it's just too much of an hassle.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So maybe they did it like that. But I mean, I don't really know the situation that happened between her and Kevin, so I can't really say what, you know.
Yeah, I mean, were you surprised that Brittney Griner, who was basically an IG model,
no, bro, because I was a full-fledged Compton Crip, and I became Muslim.
That's true.
Yeah, so I mean, and usually God, you know, he usually get the worst of the people to pull them up. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I'm not surprised. I think it's a beautiful thing. I know a lot of people have a lot of shit to say. Oh, now she like, why are you hating on what somebody else is doing with their personal?
Hating.
No, I ain't saying you. I'm saying what I see the flack she's getting on the internet.
First ever interview.
No, I'm saying that flack that she's getting on the internet. Every time she posts, somebody got some negative shit to say about her changing her life. That's her personal life. When she was an IG model, she was getting flack for doing that.
Right.
Now she's trying to be righteous, and she's like, she can't fucking win. Leave the lady alone. Yeah, nobody
could win. That's just how it works.
Yeah,
no matter what you do, it's gonna be an army of people. You know,
that's why you just gotta live your life. You can't even worry about what people say.
For example, like when Jamar came back on VladTV, I thought, oh, okay, look, like, you know, I apologize for the Farrakhan thing. That was always his big issue.
Yeah,
that was literally the only issue that he had.
Yeah, because he was trying to get me to go against you for that.
Oh, was he?
Yeah, remember they were saying stand on code and all that stuff.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, dude, okay, it's a certain thing, but listen, first of all, I don't agree with Farrakhan's ideology. I do agree with him. He is my skin folk. He my people, and he done a lot for the black community. You know what I'm saying, when it comes to worldly things. But I'm not finna feud with Vlad over something y'all agree with. Like, you know what I'm saying? I might agree with you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't gotta fucking stand on. I don't even know y'all. First of all, for you talking about stand on code. Now, if Vlad just came out and dissed black folks, like, you know what I'm saying, said the N-word or something, then I'd have had an issue with it.
Right.
But if you had a personal disagreement with somebody, like, what the fuck you mean? Stand on code.
Right. Well,
yeah.
I'm sitting there thinking, okay, I apologize for the Farrakhan thing. Yeah, certain people are like, yo, fuck your apology, whatever. But I think in general, people saw it as sincere. Me and him go back like 10 years.
Yeah.
So, okay, I apologized. To me, it kind of made sense for him to come back. But it was all negative comments. Like, everyone's mad at him. Oh, you're not standing up. Like, but I'm thinking
people just want people to listen, man. Everybody, human beings, we might feel a certain way today. We might not feel this way tomorrow.
Yeah.
Who are you to hold me to a standard the way I am today? If I chose to wake up a week from now and be a different person, that's my fucking choice.
Right.
What the fuck do it got to do with you? As long as it ain't affecting you personally, why do you give a fuck? I don't understand people,
I agree.
man.
I agree. Really I was actually stunned. Like, I'm like, damn. Like, you know, I mean, my fans, like, you know, like the VladTV members, like, oh, this is great. We've been asking for this for years.
Yeah.
So, and the views are speaking for themselves. And listen, I don't mind. Like, everyone creating all this ruckus and creating all these videos about us is just promoting the videos. So
that's what it seemed like. They try to make it like a blanket thing, like, because you had something with Farrakhan, you had something against black folk. And I just didn't agree. I didn't see that. So I couldn't agree with it. You know what I'm saying? And I know it wasn't the case. You know what I mean?
It was also a misquote at that. It was a doctored video.
Yeah.
That fooled me. It was like him saying something and the video stopped at that point. That video had millions of views on Twitter. And then after I said it, people started sending me the full video and there was more context afterwards.
Right.
Okay. In retrospect, I should have just apologized and,
and then
said the whole story. But I was taking the stance. I'm like, I'm just not going to speak on it. I'm just going to keep a silent.
But people are human, bro, and you shouldn't expect nobody to be perfect 100% of the time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Everybody should be given a second chance, my nigga. Like, I just don't understand people, because people will fuck up just because it ain't recorded. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's seen it. Don't mean you ain't did the same thing too.
Yeah.
You're a fucking human being. You're going to contradict yourself.
Right.
Sometimes you're going to put your foot in your mouth.
Right.
You just a fucking human being, bro.
Yeah.
You're not a fucking angel. You know what I mean? So it is what it is.
This was a debate on Twitter recently. Would you consider Tupac an LA rapper?
Yes, I do. I do. I ain't gonna really say LA, I'm gonna say West Coast. Because really he started in the Bay.
Well, and
I'm gonna say West Coast.
No, but the question is LA rapper.
He became an LA rapper, but he got his start in the Bay. We already know that. You know what I'm saying? If you
I mean, you can go back to Baltimore, you can go back to New York.
But he wasn't rapping there.
Yeah, he was called MC New York, but nobody knew who he was.
But then nobody knew who he was, so I can't base it on that.
Professionally, he started in the Bay.
He started in the Bay.
Right.
So
eventually led him to LA.
Because he really got courted on Ma Paru, which a lot of people know. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So that, now you from LA now. So yeah, I understand the argument. You know what I mean? Because once you dedicate yourself to something, that's where you from. I don't care where you came from. But if you came and got put on, like if somebody came from New York and came to Compton and got put on my hood, you from the set now. You know what I'm saying? You got to always know where you came from. Like, so yeah, I agree with that.
Well, DJ Yella was on my show recently, and I was not prepared for the comments that showed up under his videos.
Yeah.
Because, and you don't really notice it. Like when I do interviews, I kind of blank out a little bit. So when I rewatch things, I see it a little bit differently. And I didn't realize that almost anything I asked, he just didn't remember it. He didn't do it. He didn't recall. And I guess the funny part was, we were talking about this before the interview. I asked him what he thought about The Chronic. Dr. Dre's The Chronic. Certain people consider that the greatest hip hop album of all time.
Okay.
And he said, honestly, Vlad, I never listened to it.
Come on, Yella, bro.
Now you got a different story.
Yella, come on, bro. Like, why would you say that? Like, maybe he don't remember. Maybe he's probably experiencing amnesia or something. I don't know. I don't want to, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to say nothing bad, but come on, Yella. Come on, bro.
Well, didn't you actually purchase that album with DJ Yella and listen to it together?
I didn't purchase it with him, but I know we was on tour, and when that shit came out, was it The Chronic? It might have been Doggy Style, so he might have a point. I think it was Doggy Style, actually, because we was in DC. I remember. So in DC, they had these hotels with these bookstores in them, and some of the bookstores sold CDs. So I remember us, like, right when we was going out to go to the airport, we was in a 16-passenger van, and we was like, hold up, Snoop album came out today. Ran back in there, stood in that line, bought that shit, and Easy used to have this little radio. It's a picture online with Easy in a hotel room with the Charlie Brown black and gray, and he got the little radio next to him. That radio, he kept it with him all the time. And we played, it was Snoop Dogg. It wasn't The Chronic though, it was Snoop Dogg. So we listened to that shit through and through and through. So I'm assuming I probably wasn't around during the Chronic period, because that came out in what? Was that 91?
Yeah, 91, 92.
91, so I came to Easy in 92, the next year after that. I would say Yella is probably prevaricating on that one. Because it's like, it's a diss, you got to think, they dissed Easy on it. Easy got to reply. You got to know what the fuck they're saying. Right. So it just don't make logical sense that he didn't listen to it, like, to me.
Yo, I mean, the comments.
So maybe he just don't want to get crossed with Dre, you know what I'm saying, or something. I don't know, because Yella played that role. Like, Yella is trying to play the middle.
Yeah, not trying to piss off anyone.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, look, the comments, I'm reading through them. Someone said, if I ever did a crime, Yella would be the only one allowed to come with me.
Oh, my mama.
After the police question, he said, I don't know any.
I agree with that 100%.
Where were you yesterday? I don't really remember where I was yesterday.
Yella, if I need to do something, we'll call you, homie. Because I need people like that. That's crazy, bro.
That's the top
I just don't
comments.
understand why he sat in the seat if he wasn't going to answer nothing. Like, what type of interview is that?
I'm reading the comments. A deaf man has heard more music than DJ Yella. Vlad, what's your favorite NWA track? Yella, never heard of him. I've never actually met Dr. Dre.
Damn.
You know what? I've never actually heard a phone ring. So, what was it like growing up in Compton? I honestly have never been there before. I was off doing my own thing.
Whoa. Yeah, he put himself out there. I mean, you got to take what comes with it, bro. That's funny as hell.
I've never drank a glass of water in my life.
That's funny, bro.
I've never seen the sunset. You know, that makes me feel like he was just around for the food. Yo, the internet just has the funniest, funniest people in the world.
Hey, them type of things right there be killing me, bro. Because when you set yourself up for them comments, they gonna wear your ass out. Swear to God.
If you ever do a crime, bring DJ Yella with you.
Yeah. Damn, yeah, that's sorry.
And he sounds believable when he says, like, oh, okay, baby, he's never been to Compton.
I don't know what happened to Yella, man. More power to you, Yella. Much love, bro.
That's what it is. BG Knocc Out, man. Always a pleasure.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me,
here, man. Congratulations.
I know we got a little heated, bro, on that subject.
That's okay.
That shit touchy to me, though, Vlad, man. Because, like, that shit, it disturbs my heart, bro. I'm not going to lie. To see the people in Gaza going through what they're going through, bro. I wouldn't want that to happen to nobody, to no Jewish people, no anybody, bro. I swear to God.
Either, man.
Even the people that enslaved us, as much as that shit peeves my soul, I wouldn't even want to do it to them and their kids, bro. You know what I'm saying? Because my heart just ain't made like that. You feel me? So, you know, that's all I want to say.
I agree, man. Look, my whole life, Israel and Palestine has been going through it.
Yeah.
Has been going at it. Has been shooting each other, killing each other my whole life. And I don't know if I ever, you know, you and I have never really kind of jumped on this topic before, but I remember when I went to Israel for the first time, they were taking us around and kind of showing us important parts of the history. And they took us to this one square, right? And the significance of this area was that at the time, the president of Israel was a guy named Rabin, right? Rabin was a general in the Israeli army. So he was, you know, front lines, active battle, everything else like that. He had been going at it with Arafat for decades at that point. Both sides were getting killed, so forth. Him and Arafat got to a point, because they're starting to get older at that point, that they realized that if they, you know, if their grandkids had a chance of actually having a peaceful life, they need to actually start negotiating with each other as opposed to just shooting each other. So there was a famous meeting in America with President Clinton where the two of them shook hands on camera. This was unheard of.
Is that Camp David?
No, I think it was actually the White House.
Okay, okay.
There might have been meetings at Camp David, but I think officially there was literally like a video on the news of the two of them shaking hands. So imagine the leader of Hamas and Netanyahu shaking hands on television.
Yeah, right? Something needs to happen, bro.
But I'm saying, like, imagine that. That's the significance of it, right? So this was a watershed event in world history, right, at that moment. And there was now steps being taken to actually figure out and, you know, give land back to the Palestinians and, you know, make accords and everything else like that. But when you have situations like that, this is, remember the whole terrorist conversation I had? There's going to be extreme groups that are not happy with it. So there was actually a group of Jewish extremists that were extremely mad that this was happening. So there was this young kid, he was maybe in his early 20s. He was going around meeting with these sort of real right-wing rabbis, some of which were affiliated with Netanyahu. Like Netanyahu was kind of part of this whole sort of overall group. And he would ask these rabbis, he's like, look, in the Torah, it says that if someone kills Jews, you should be allowed to kill them. So therefore, Rabin, with his policies killing Jews, shouldn't Rabin be killed? So the rabbis were like, well, yeah, in theory, I guess, you know, you have a point. You know, he should be killed by Jewish law. You know, we're not going to do it, obviously, but yeah. So this guy got inspired to kill Rabin, an actual Jewish guy. So in this, like, square, there was a big, like, rally, and Rabin was walking through the crowd. And he got killed by an Israeli Jew. And then at that point, he got replaced by Netanyahu, or a Netanyahu type character, and it never went back to that point again. He was actually trying. So then the person who got replaced didn't want to negotiate. So then everyone was pissed off and whatever else. So then the next person didn't want to negotiate with Arafat, and ultimately we are where we are today. But there was an actual moment, and this is what I mean by terrorists are designed to stop the peace process.
I get it.
Things start to happen, progress gets made, and then a school bus gets blown up. And then people say, you can't negotiate with these people, they're animals. They blow up school buses. You have to ignore if let's just say that was ignored and they went right back to the peace process, something could have happened significant at that moment in time.
I just don't think Hamas is that powerful. Because you got to think they're in a broken country.
Yeah.
First of all, their infrastructure ain't shit over there.
Right.
So they can be stopped like this. That's what I'm just saying. Like if they wanted to really smash them, I believe they can do it in a day or a matter of days. You know what I mean? So I think it's a reason to keep them going and to keep the other extreme side going as well. You know what I mean? So
I mean,
at the end of the day, I just want peace, man, for everybody.
You might be
know what I'm
right,
saying?
but
it got to be something, Vlad, because it just don't make sense. This has been going on since 1947, bro.
It doesn't make
insane.
sense.
It's insane.
And here's the thing, that you're talking to someone who's actually been there.
Yeah.
And it's always lightweight tense over there. So, for example, like, you know how, I don't know, have you ever walked into a mall with metal detectors?
Of course.
Okay. Well, in Israel, I remember in Tel Aviv, they have people that they're not checking for guns and knives. They're looking in your bag for bombs.
Yeah, yeah.
That's a real thing.
I understand.
So you're walking into a mall and you're checked for a bomb.
I understand, but if you've been bombed since your great grandparents was alive, you probably not all the way here mentally. You gotta think about that.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of insanity over there. I heard the fucking dogs are schizophrenic, like the animals from all the bombs. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. I've seen it and read it. I've seen videos and I've read it as well. So it's not a normal life for anybody over there. I just wish y'all please, like, do away with the whole situation. Like, it's just not cool to witness, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I hope it gets worked out.
Inshallah.
Yeah, I hope it gets worked out, man. I have a lot of, Muslim friends.
Yeah.
But
when you say that, it sounds kind of like, I got a lot of black friends. Like,
okay.
The way it's
but you don't hear a lot of Jews. You don't hear a lot of Jews saying it. You see what I'm saying?
I understand, but no, a lot of Jews do though. Because you have Jews who are against the extremist side of Israel as well.
Against the extremist
That's marching
side.
with they're marching with the Palestinian people in America as well. So
yeah, I mean, I'm not going to do that, but I've publicly said, like on the Breakfast Club and on social media with millions of people retweeting it, that I feel both sides are wrong, and I'm not in support. I'm not sitting here saying that one side deserves to be right.
The fucked up part is the people in the middle who's having to deal with it, who have nothing to do with Hamas. Or Israel, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. That's the fucked up part.
Yeah. I think it's extremely sad, the number of civilian casualties that have happened.
Yeah, bro.
I think on both sides. But unfortunately, it's a lot heavier on the Palestinian side.
Right.
And I think that's, for example, like if someone we're in Van Nuys right now, if someone in Van Nuys shot someone in Calabasas, you don't go and blow up all of Van Nuys.
Exactly.
So you don't blow up a building in Van Nuys because you're trying to get one person. So ultimately, the way they're handling it is bad, and it's also creating a lot of, a lot of people being upset at Israel for the way they are handling it. So it's
you gotta think about the generational damage that comes from that as well.
Generational damage, and it's also like
almost
at the end of the day,
irreparable, bro. At this point,
no matter how you look at it, you can't have the same leader for like 20 years and expect a good outcome. Every country you see this in, whether it's Cuba, whether it's China, whether it's Russia, whether it's North Korea, listen, you could criticize America, but at least you got 8 years, and then that's it. You're not going to get a third, fourth, fifth term. Like, that's it. Like Trump, in a few years, Trump will be gone.
Same people.
Trump will be gone. But Trump will be gone. Someone else will replace him.
Yeah,
you're not going to get Trump for the next 20, 30 years. See what I'm saying? And when you have Netanyahu in there for 20 years, you got Putin in there for 25 years, you're going to get a bunch of policies that really don't make sense because it's not really a true democratic system.
Yeah.
It's one person running the show and just basically deciding what the whole country's going to do.
Pretty much a dictatorship after that.
You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, man, I feel for the Muslim people. I feel for the Palestinian people. And, it may sound racist saying I have Palestinian, I have Muslim friends, but it's true. I actually do have,
You
know what I'm saying? Actual people that I keep in contact with, that have been on my show a bunch of times, that I have personal conversations with, that I hang out with outside of just business. See what I'm saying? That I have true empathy for. So, you know, at the end of the day, I don't like to see people get grouped in just because of a religion. It's crazy. You know what I mean? Like, we're all individuals. We all deserve a chance.
We're human, bro. It's humanity.
We're all, you know, to have our human needs, you know, a roof over our head, food in our stomach, the ability to raise our families, not have peace, you know, to have peace, to not have bombs and missiles being, you know, flown overhead and so forth, man. I hope sometime during my lifetime there could be a point where it's all just worked out.
Inshallah, I hope so, bro, because that's crazy.
That's what it is, man. Until next time.
For sure.
Peace.
Thank you, Vlad.